This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022.
Hello. What's going on, folks?
All right, move that just a little bit right there. I'm out of coffee. Eric Wensky, what's up, dude? How you doing, man? MC Tasman, hello. Alpha Chief, what's up, dude? What's up, Goliath? Felipe, what's up, dude? Hello, what's up? Waffles, yo. Waffles, good to see you again, buddy. Mr. Fro TW. Mr. Fro, what's up, Fro? Kashio, hello. What's up? Evergreen Echo from Evergreen Echo. That's a really long name, dude. You're gonna be called Echo from now on. Yeah. Mamley, hello. Suit, what's up, Suit? Everybody's getting truncated names now. If too many long names, everybody's just gonna get it. We're just gonna call you Betty Doze. What's up? Some dude's face. Hello. Generous Heel. What's up, dude? Joshua Wheat. Yo. Yataro. What's up? Welcome to your first stream, dude. John Barry. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. DM Miller. Gabriel. Yo. Tony. Salukes. Arcade Shifter. I'm just reading names now. Mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, what's up, Mayonnaise? There's a dude named Manasium. You're Mayonnaise now. I'm calling you Mayonnaise. That's awesome, dude. I need coffee. I'll be back in a second. My gosh, my cats are swarming. Can't believe that we have a dude. We have Waffles in the stream, and we have a dude now named Mayonnaise in the stream. This is amazing. Mr. Owl, what's up, dude? How do I hide that? Dismiss? I just want to hide it. Okay, whatever. Rabid Rich, yo! Sounds like you got a condition there. Keith Johnson, hello. Tony C, what's up? It's Drafty, yo. Hello. Mayonnaise is a very good condiment. I totally agree. Mr. Putz, hello. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm happy to hear you like the channel. I got a comment. Was it 2 days ago? I'm not a nice person sometimes. I got a comment a couple days ago, and the guy was like, he was responding to one of my videos, obviously, and he's like, dude's cringy AF. Obviously talking to me. You know, I responded to him, and I was like, dude's successful AF. Go figure. And I was like, yeah, what up, buddy? I always like getting those types of comments, you know, where I'm just like, okay, you're coming from a bad place, aren't you? You're living in a basement somewhere and have a crappy job. I understand. I used to be there myself, you know. But don't leave your negativity here, buddy, because somebody fires back sometimes. Yeah, sorry. What happened to my chat? My chat is paused. Oh, my chat stopped working. Uh-oh, this is a bad sign. My chat in OBS has stopped moving. It's a very bad sign. That's a very bad sign. All right, now I'm gonna start goofing with stuff. Chat is just frozen. My OBS chat is literally frozen. This is not good. It's gonna be a hard stream without me being able to see chat. How do I refresh OBS chat? Come on. All right. I don't know why it froze. I can still see the chat over on the YouTube. So I don't want to look over there though. I have OBS for a reason. My chat has frozen. Let's see. Docs. Chat. Okay, that didn't do it. Docs. Chat. It's still frozen. Don't know why it's doing that. I mean, I can see chat in my YouTube streaming platform. I can see chat just fine, but I can't see it in OBS. And OBS is what I look at the entire stream. So that it stops working there is not good. OBS sucks. And it's not like I can just shut it down and restart it either. It's the whole stream is powered by OBS. Actually, I kind of can. Ooh, I can restart OBS, actually. And I think the stream will keep, you won't see me for a second, but once it starts back up, but it'll screw that up. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to see if I can pop this out. Pop out chat, there we go. All right, you suck, OBS. All right, we are experimenting today. Woo, okay, here we go. Oh, that didn't work. Kind of worked. Kind of worked. Not really. All right, there we go. All right, cool. I have chat over there now. All right, I'm gonna close OBS chat. You have failed me. You've completely failed me, OBS chat. I think I'm doing okay. I think we're doing okay, folks. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. No, OBS is the definitive streaming platform. That's what you use. It's usually perfectly fine, but for whatever reason, chat just froze. I have a workaround though. I'm okay. Yeah, there goes one sponsor. Yeah, totally. It's like, okay, not gonna do that guy anymore. No longer sponsoring OBS. All right. We should start this thing. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to begin. Hello, what's going on? We're doing a live stream tonight because it's New Year's Eve and I have nothing better to do, and I figured, hey, I bet there's a lot of other people out there who have nothing better to do tonight and would just rather hang out and talk about D&D and crap. So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. Yeah, afterward, I'm probably gonna go drink some adult beverages with my wife and then go to sleep before midnight because I don't think I've stayed up for New Year's like midnight thing since like ever. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna fall asleep before it ever happens. But anyway, we're here live streaming right now. We're gonna do Q&A tonight. You guys throw questions in the chat. I have a couple moderators. They're throwing it in a spreadsheet. So we will get your questions. I'll answer as many as we can. Please don't spam. They love smoking spammers. We make sandwiches out of spam, so don't do that, please. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. And I have some shameless plugs to get going through here out of the way before we jump into things. But then we're just gonna be doing Q&A for the next 3 hours. It'll be a beautiful thing. We'll probably watch the cats a little bit. We'll give them some treats. You know, we have one of them right down here who's cat loafing already. Who is that? That's Orange. Orange is already preparing for his snack. Squeaky is down below by my feet. He is chewing on one of my feet already. So they are preparing themselves to have a wonderful stream tonight. So let's do some shameless plugs and we'll get going. All right, first shameless plug. Let's see, here we go. First, I want to thank all my awesome, wonderful patrons and YouTube members for all of their support, helping keep the lights on around here. We provide tons of free resources for the D&D community. We publish free resources over on my website, thedmlair.com. Obviously, the videos are free, the live streams, everything. We have tons of stuff that we provide for people for free. These folks help support that, keep the lights on, and they also help make it possible for us to publish Lair magazine every single month, which has our high quality premium D&D resources that we offer folks. And all my patrons get Lair magazine every single month. We're about to release it next week. Yeah, next Thursday, our January 2022 issue of Lair magazine will drop. So they will be getting that as well. So very appreciative to all my patrons, YouTube members. Very, very cool folk. And then we go to the list. The list in red. These folks get their name read. They pay me extra money. They're like, Luke, how much would it take for you to read our names, all of our names, every stream? And I was like, about this much. And they're like, okay, here's our money, read our names. And I'm like, okay, great, this is wonderful. So here we go. 5e Magic Shop, Aerospatial, Alex H, Alex T, Amanka. I think that's supposed to be Amanda W. Yeah, Ambers, Andrew M, Anthony L, Anthony M, Arutha, Baldman, Beoban, Blinking Duck, Brad A, Brandon, Brian S, Candy Sora, Chase O, Chris and Michael K, Chris C, Chris E, Chris H, Chris R, Chris Y, Cody B, Cody, Colton T, Connor A, Contrary Gravy, Crispy Cucumber, Dalius G, Damaged Dice, David M, Dragon Demon, Draxus Dresna, Dylan S, Ed R, Edward L, and Dorian 72, Ericos, Fallon, Frank C, Gary, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Gail Mundor H, Heretic Hydra Slayer, Ian F, Iron Lord 79, Izzy T, Jacob S, Jake L, Jacob K, James L, Jessica J, Joshin B, Joel L, John A, John N, Dorel, Joseph H, Josh S, Joshua G, Josue S, Justin N, Justin P, Kale S, KK, Keith L, Ken S, Kevin F, Kevin P, Cuzzies, Kirby, Kyle G, Kyle M, Kiriako, Labraworks, Leopold X92, Lodwick B, Lord Kemiak, Lori S, Michael C, Michael H, Mr. Lon Canoe, Mr. T, Mumbles, Not a Bard, Owen D, Patrick A, Paul B, Paul H, Paul R, Penguin Butt, Pierre P, Published Author, Radiance Guardians, Ramus, Ramsey M, Braslick, Race W, Rebecca K, Rainier C, Ron M, Ron H, Ron R, Ronald, Ryan G, Takora, Scott F, Shane L, Simon, Smash Skull, Snapdragger, Son of a Sofa Man, Sophie M, Stetson T, Stetson F, WQ, Stephen A, Stephen F, Tattle Tokens, Talking Napkin, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The Pickle, The Casual Nerd, The New Bad Ombre, Man, Beta Tag, Tiger 500, Tim Black, Todd M, Tom C, Tony M, Tristan W, Tyler R, Vincent G, William, Savior H, XX, Red Rum, Zack. Thank you. You're wonderful. I love you. It's like a spectacle right there, just listening to me mispronounce all of those names. Yeah. Okay, cool. We are doing a giveaway tonight. We do a giveaway like pretty much every live stream. You can win a D&D book of your choice. It's got to be on Amazon, and it can't be like $1 bajillion because, yeah. But anyway, D&D book of your choice if you're in the US. If you're not in the US, then you can get DM Lair store credit. You can get stuff like back issues of Lair magazine. You can get map packs. You can get my Into the Fae module that is very, very beautiful and wonderful as well. So cool stuff you can win. Enter the giveaway. It's easy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. and we're gonna draw the winner at the end of the stream tonight. So boom, I think I saw John Barry in here. He won on the last stream. He's coming back. He's like, I'm gonna win a second time. I'll crap my pants if I pull his name again. I'll be like, okay, John. All right, now what do you want? You got Xanathars the first time. Oh, Danny. Hello, Danny. Danny, you're here just in time. Everybody tell Danny all of the work that we have planned for her. Thank you. Yeah, we'll just see where that goes. Oh yes. We have a new charity. Okay, so one of the things that we do on live streams is we raise money for a charity of our choice. And we have just finished raising $672 for the Mother Teresa House, which is a charity organization here in Lansing, Michigan, near where I live. And they provide hospice care for the terminally ill. And we raised over $600 for them. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. And I did that donation yesterday or something. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, donated a bunch of money to them. It's great. But that means that we're picking a new charity because our goal is always $500 and we often exceed it. So $500, and our charity tonight is, all right. Let me get my screen ready here. All right. We are going to be we're raising $500 for All God's Children International. They do a couple different things. First of all, they help orphans, basically. The whole overview of what they do is they help orphans. They're concentrated in Nigeria and Guatemala is where they're helping orphans. And they do two different things. First of all, there are lots of orphans down there that are in institutions, and they help provide for meals, for clothing, for education and that sort of thing for orphans. And they also help with adoptions and stuff like that so that they can have, permanent families, basically. So they do lots of really awesome stuff there. And so our goal is to raise $500 for them. So if you would like to help contribute to that, you can tip. All tips, 100% of all tips go directly to the charity of our choice. That is tips. And there's going to be a link in chat where my wonderful, lovely, beautiful, wonderful moderators will put a link there if you're interested in helping that out. So yeah, we're going to be doing that tonight, and we'll just keep doing that every stream until we get to $500, and then we give them a bunch of money and we pick a new charity. So that's how we do things. All right, I think I got through my entire sheet. I literally have a sheet that I have to walk through of all my, gotta check all my boxes and get all my stuff done. All right, I think we're ready to do Q&A now. Whee! Love it. Oh, we're deleting messages already. Ooh. All right. Yes, Matthew Crouch. I almost saw something else as a last name, and I almost called you something else, and I apologize for that in advance. But yes, Matthew, you asked your questions right in the chat. Hashtag all caps question, and then my moderators will get your question into the sheet. That would have been a really bad mispronunciation of somebody's name. I mean, I'm bad with names, and I mispronounce like everything. That would have been an epic fail of mispronunciation. I'm sorry. I should stop talking about that now. Oh, what is the best level 10 big bad for a group of 5 in your opinion? If the players are all level 10, then you should be looking for a CR 14 or a CR 15 big bad, and give them a couple CR 2 or CR 3 minions, perhaps. Something like that. That would be the best big bad for you. I'm not gonna look up in the monster manual. I'll just leave it to you. CR 14 is roughly what you're going for, with a couple minions. Off the top of my head. Eric Wensky says, do you have any ideas on how to run a 1 versus 1 and make it interesting? You mean like one PC versus another PC and they're like duking out and fighting and making it interesting? No, I've never done that before. And no, it's not going to be interesting. Somebody's going to get their butt handed to them is how it's going to go. Yeah, because the classes in D&D are not balanced whatsoever at all. They're completely unbalanced. So you're essentially gonna have you're gonna have like the bard and then the barbarian, and the bard's gonna wet themselves first and then they're gonna die. You know, like, what are they gonna do? So no, I don't have any suggestions for not in D&D. If you really want to do one-on-one combat, if that's what you really want to do, then you might have there might be a better game system out there for that. I do know there though. Who was it? Hold on a second. If you want to do PvP, not necessarily one-on-one, but if you're looking for PvP, at LairCon, there was a dude there who had this right here. It looks like you can get this on DM's Guild. It's called the Contest of Fun. It's made by Fry Minis. I believe this dude also has a YouTube channel as well. But he was running, it's like you can't see my face. Ha ha. He was running this, and essentially this is a PvP. It's a way to play D&D as a PvP. Intentionally, like, hey, we're all gonna do a PvP, let's have fun. And you can get this on DM's Guild, I believe. You can probably find it. Type in the Contest of Fun, and you can probably find it. And they were running it. There was a group of people, a couple groups maybe, that ran this, and they had a big PvP, and they had tons of fun. I didn't do it myself. So my recommendation is based solely upon the big smiles I saw on people's faces when they were telling me about how the one person won and everybody else died. I don't know. So anyway, this is my suggestion. Go look at that. It's probably a couple bucks or something would be my guess. But if you want to do PvP, there's probably going to be some information in there. I haven't even read it. I just know that people ran it and had fun. So there you go. Take that for what you will. Give them a bunch of healing potions. Well, thank you, Noble. Noble P. Thank you, Noble. They said that my cats are so cute. Well, thank you. Now, because of the wonderful compliment, we are now going to go to the cat cam, where my cats are sitting and waiting. And there are more of them. Like, I have all of them down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I have 6 of them. We only have 6 of them. They're all just, some of them are off camera. 2 of them are off camera, but they're just sitting here chilling. Oh, by the way, Kirby, thank you so much for the $50 tip. Really appreciate that. That goes directly to All God's Children International, the charity that we're trying to support. Give them $500. Really appreciate that, Kirby. Also, Brad Chris, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. He says, Happy New Year, all. Yes, Happy New Year. Thank you, dude. Really appreciate that. Kirby, you're like an epic tipper. Kirby, you like give so much to charity on these streams. That's awesome, dude. I love you, man. He's like, here's some money for the charities. Sweet. Okay, whoops, that was the wrong button. Can you pet them? Cat wants to know if I can pet them. Well, of course I can. Yeah. Hello, mommy. Mommy. See, I'll pet mommy a little bit. Little guy wants his belly rubbed. Little guy, calm down. Nobody's rubbing your belly. There, how's that? You see my jogging pants here? They have cat hair all over them. Just covered with cat hair. Let me put some context here, because I do wash my clothes. I have 2 pairs of jogging pants that are very, very comfortable, but for whatever reason, like, cat hair just clings to them. Like, I'll have a cat just rub my leg once, and there's a swath of cat hair on my jogging pants, and I'm just like, wow, thank you. Like, I've only had these on, like, yesterday a little bit, and they're just got cat hair all over the legs now, because and I have another pair of jogging pants, my favorite pair, that cat hair does not stick to them at all. And so I can go months without washing those, and there's no problem at all. Except for perhaps a little bit of a stink, but hey, in the basement, nobody's gonna notice, are they? All right. Probably too much information. Luke, we don't want to know how long you go without washing your clothes. All right. How do you feel about the whole prom and dating sim coming to D&D with Strix Haven? I don't know. I have not bought Strix Haven. I'm probably not gonna buy it. And so I haven't read it, or is it out yet? I think you can actually get it already. So I don't really have any formulated opinions on it in all honesty. So I don't know how I feel about it. I read the little blurb that you can read that tells you like what's in the book and what the type of content is. And I was immediately like, somebody out there probably really wants to play that game. I'm sure there are lots of people that would have tons of fun with that. I don't know if I'm that person though. So that was kind of where that died for me. I actually got an email from somebody. Who was it? It was somebody. It wasn't Wizards of the Coast, but I think it was like it was an agency that was trying to get people to do, they wanted to pay for videos to advertise Strix Haven. And I don't know if I should be saying this, but I have a big mouth, so whatever. You guys are all probably like, Luke, tell us. Anyway, they emailed me and they were like, hey, we're looking for, content creators or influencers or whatever to do videos, to help advertise Strix Haven and stuff. This was in December. And I was like, interesting. And I sent them my rate card and I was like, here's my rate card. And then they're like, well, we're actually looking for a dedicated video, like a video that is just a video about Strix Haven, talking about the different things in it and stuff. And they're like, how much would that cost and stuff? And what would the charge be for that? Because that's different than just like a little ad spot in a video. And so I was like, and then they were like, by the way, we need the final video. So they needed the final video in like 7 days. So like, I don't know who does video production out there, but so from reaching out to me to when they needed to have the final video into Wizards' hands, 7 days. 7 days to script a video, send the script to them so that they can review the script and make sure that that's what they want, right? Well, I'd have to get Strix Haven first and actually read it a little bit, okay? And then script it, and then send it to them to have the script reviewed, because I'm not gonna record the video, shoot the video, edit the video, and send it to them only for them to be like, nah. So you don't do that. You send them the script for approval first. And here's what normally happens. Here, I've done this before. Let me tell you what normally happens. You send the script for review, and guess who reviews the script? Somebody at the bottom. This is how it always happens. Somebody at the bottom of the ladder reviews the script, and they greenlight it with maybe a couple changes. There's always a couple changes, but they're like, yep, okay, good. And you're like, okay, the script has been reviewed. This means that if I stick to the script, I should have no problems once I give them the video. So then I got the script, and then I shoot the video, right? I send it to my editor, and I'm like, Zack, come on, let's go. Woo! Woo! We gotta do this fast. And Zack is like, okay. He calls in PTO for his full-time job, I don't know. And he cuts the video, and then I get the video, and then I give it to them. And then they're like, okay, we got to have the video reviewed. And I'm thinking, like, happy path. Okay, this should be easy. Well, this is what, at this point, this is when the people at the top who actually need to review the video actually look at it. Like, they should have looked at the script, but this never happens. The people who looked at the script are too low down. The people up top can't be bothered looking at the script. And so they don't look at the script, they wait until they get the final video. And then the people that really need to review it and approve it, they look at the final video and they're just like, this is from experience. I know that this is how it happens. And they look at the video and they're just like, we're gonna have to have this, that, this, and this, and this, and that other thing changed. And then the people come back to me and they're like, well, Luke, we need to have all these different things changed. And I'm just like, dude, this is why I sent you the script, so we wouldn't be doing this. Do you understand that in video work, you don't, because otherwise you would have done this properly. But if you correct these things at the scripting stage, we avoid lots of effort and rework. The cost is way, way lower if we correct this up front at the script level. But because you waited to give me this feedback when I had already cut the final video, I needed to now go back and re-script these parts, reshoot it, re-edit it, and give you the final video. Like, you've just increased our production costs like twofold because you didn't have the right people review the script and they reviewed it at the wrong stage of the process. And here's the thing, I know that's how it works because I've done this before. And so they wanted this turned around in 7 days, and I was like, in my head, I'm just like, that's insane. There's no way we're gonna get through that entire process in 7 days. That is a death march. It's like, you will fail if you ever. So I was like, you know, this would be the cost. I gave them a price just because, you know, that price scared them away. And then I was like, but by the way, there's no way I could have this done in time. So this is what it would normally cost, but this is for future reference because there's no way I could do this in time. And in my head, I'm thinking, there's no way anybody could do this in the time frame that you want, to the quality that you're probably expecting, you know, unless they dropped everything to solely focus on this. And they were willing to have the headache of probably lots of different back and forths, you know, because I was dealing with a middleman who would then have to present things to the final customer, somebody at Wizards, I would imagine. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I know how this process works, and I'm looking at all the different stages and all the different steps and all this stuff, and I'm just like, dude, this is a nightmare. This would be an absolute nightmare to try to do this. And so I was like, I'm sorry, this is not gonna work out. That deadline is too soon. I never heard back from them, so whatever. It is what it is. They probably looked at my price, and then they were like, oh, he can't do it anyway. Let's go find somebody else to do it. And you know, the interesting thing is, I'm sure there are lots of fine people that are like that were trying to work on that project and get it done. So this is what happens. There's somebody in a suit who says, our sales are not doing well on X product. We need to get people on the streets talking about our product. Get some people, get some influencers, get some stuff out on YouTube. Let's go. And this is somebody in a suit, you know, who doesn't know how much time all this stuff takes. They just think it just happens, right? And then there are people down below who are like, okay, we gotta go get this done. And then there are people that actually know how much time this stuff takes and how much effort's involved. And they're just like, this is insane. This is, we call this a death march, you know, where you know you're going to fail and you're just marching along toward failure because you're never gonna get there. I mean, you're gonna get to the timeline or the deadline and you're gonna fail. So anyway, I don't know. I when I first saw all that interchange in my brain, I was like working through everything that was going on and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. Some poor maniac is gonna bite and have a lot of horrible headache. Anyway, story time is over now. Thank you. I'm probably sharing things I'm not supposed to share. But hey, what's up? That's how it works. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Did that. Oh, I have a super chats. Let's see. John Shook, $5 super chat. Hello. His message was, hello everyone. Well, hello. Well, thank you. That is one way to get everyone to hear your hello. You send a super chat, they will all hear your hello. Let's see. Silux Jigsaw Soul. Sorry. Question. Have you encountered a moment in your games where players were brought on to edge of tears due to actions and consequences? I don't think so. I don't think we've by the way, thank you for the $5 super chat too, dude. I really appreciate that. I don't think we've had those sorts of moments. I have had players brought to the edge of tears? I don't think so. I think we've probably had players and dungeon masters that have been brought to the edge of wanting to punch somebody in the face because they were being a jackwad. I think we've gotten to that point before. I think we've had yelling and screaming matches and people pissed off at each other. Definitely have seen those emotions. Have seen lots of those emotions. I don't think we've seen any tears though. Yeah. I mean, I just don't think we there'd be some really moving story going on right there, and I don't know that we've gotten to that point. maybe our gameplay is not as deep as some other tables, or what famous people would have you believe. I was on Twitter, and there was this one dude. He's a dungeon master, pretty well known guy, and he said something along the lines of like, he had, one of the PCs had just died, and he just felt like all torn up inside and just all of these emotions and stuff. And I was just like, dude, it's a game. Just have him roll up a new PC. It's gonna be okay. So yeah, no, we've had people upset before, but not really crying. Yeah. Danny says, I respectfully retain the right to suggest you chill it out. Is that me? Is Danny telling me to chill out, or is there somebody being bad in the chat? Amira Jensen, hello, how you doing? It looks like we have there's just people talking to each other in the chat. Caleb Delaney, hello, what's up, dude? Oh no, I wasn't talking about Critical Role. I wasn't talking about Critical Role, it was somebody else. I think it was, I don't know who it was. I know that it wasn't Critical Role at all. I can guarantee you that. Who is it? I think it might be somebody who DMs for D&D Beyond or something. I think it might be. I can't remember who exactly it was. Yeah, but it wasn't Critical Role. No. All right, let's get another one. All right. Noble P. I have a beginner party and was wondering if I should suggest searching for traps at the beginning of the Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign, since none of us are seasoned professionals. Yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea to let your players know that they've never played before, that, hey guys, want to let you know that traps are a thing in Dungeons and Dragons. Give them some examples. So one of the things that you can do, one of the things your characters can do, is they can look around for traps and see if there's anything suspicious. Like, that's something you can declare. You can go up to a door and say, hey, I want to search the door for traps. You can be in the middle in a corridor and be like, hey, I want to look around this corridor to see if there's anything suspicious that might be a trap or a secret door or something. So I definitely think that telling your players about different parts of the game like that and letting them know what options are available to them are good things to do. So yes, absolutely, I would have that discussion. If you had to, Felipe, that is a cruel question. Felipe asks, if you had to choose which one of your cats is your favorite? Oh dear. I don't think I can answer that question. You're gonna have to pay me money to answer that question. Oh, which one of my cats is my favorite? Oh geez, I don't know. They're all looking at me too. They're looking at me. They're like, he's gonna choose one of us. And Squeaky looked up at me. I can't choose, Felipe. That's cruel. That's a cruel question. The one that lives with Luke is his favorite. Dude, John, they all live with me, dude. They all live with me. Yes, we killed Goliath Cleric's druid. Or somebody, how did your druid die? I forget how your druid died, Goliath Cleric. He died somehow. Some cruel, heartless person killed him. It's horrible. It's horrible. I thought I saw something. Oh. Hello, Peak D&D. What's up, dude? Why are you so awesome? Because I eat meat. I don't. Oh no, John Shook. He called me on it. Okay, well, thank you, John Shook, for the $5 super chat. Now I have to answer it. What cat is your favorite? No! Oh. All right. If I have to answer, I'm gonna say Squeaky. Yeah, because he's always following me, on top of me, bothering me. Yeah, we're gonna go with Squeaky. But he's not actually my favorite, you guys. They're all looking at me like they're gonna eat me now. They paid me money to say that. I was bribed. I'll just have to deal with the fallout later, I guess. Warren Rawlings says, I'm late. Well, you're not that late. Did they already talk about the Kickstarter? No. Did we talk about which Kickstarter are we going to talk about, folks? I got one in progress and one that's going to launch. Is the book done, or are we waiting until 2023 for delivery? Holy crap! 2023? I hope not. I hope not. Holy crap. Holy crap. No. So here's what's currently happening. What was it? Mid-November? The beginning of November? I think it was like the beginning of November or mid-November. We finally had everything ready to do the full production print run of Into the Fae. I'm going to talk about Into the Fae. That's the Kickstarter we're talking about right now, Into the Fae. We had everything ready for the full production print run of like 2,000 books. And so in November, we sent that order into the printer. And the printer was like, okay, we're getting to work. And their estimate was like 40 to 50 days is what they said it would take to print it. And this was like mid-November. And so I'm thinking, it was like the beginning of November. Because I was thinking that they should have stuff printed by the beginning or middle. Maybe it was October. No, it might have been late October. I don't remember all my dates. It might have been late October because my original estimates were that we should probably have the books printed by the beginning of December. And so I was like, okay, cool. We'll have books printed by the beginning of December, and then we'll start fulfillment, and then people may have their books by Christmas. That was my original thought. And then I think it was about 3 weeks ago or so, I followed up with the printer and I was like, hey, can I get an update on this? Because I can't see the estimated delivery date of when it's supposed to be ready. And then the printer was like, it should be done by June 4th. Not June. I'm stupid. July. Not July either. There's another month that starts with the J. January. They said January 4th, which is 3-4 days from now. And so they told me that the print run should be done by January 4th. And if they actually hit the date, which would not shock me for them to not hit the date, because I've been hearing that there are delays and crap with bunches of stupid stuff because of, the same thing that's been changing the world for the last couple of years. But if they hit the date of January 4th, then Into the Fae will start fulfillment in early January and folks will start getting their books. So that is my hope right now, is that will be that, which basically means that everyone in the US, probably Canada, will for sure have their books and all their other physical products, because all the other physical products, the one-shot collection books are done. All the t-shirts are done, the dice bags are done, the tokens, the tactical tokens are all done. All that stuff is done. That stuff has been done for months. The only physical product we're waiting right now on are the Into the Fae books themselves. And once those are done, we start fulfillment. You ship everything together because of shipping costs, obviously. You put it all together in one box. But all the other products have been sitting down in my Florida warehouse. It's not my warehouse, it's my 3PL's warehouse. They've been sitting in Florida for like months. Once the books get down there, we start shipping, which means everybody in the US and Canada will probably have their books, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, in January, maybe mid-January, late January or so. And people overseas, probably a little bit after that, I would imagine. The UK and Europe is going to be the treat, though. Plans are in place and they're marching along. I'm currently waiting on some registration for VAT taxes and import stuff so that I can actually import stuff into Europe. Yeah, it turns out that Europe doesn't want to do business with most people, apparently, because of all their very, very difficult and hard to navigate laws. Not just on importing things, but also paying crazy taxes, like really high taxes. VAT taxes, 20%
apparently, at least on the one I was looking at, that I have to pay. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. 20%. Holy poop balls. Anyway, they're making life very difficult to do business in the UK and Europe. And so I have other companies. So I have a 3PL who's handling fulfillment to the US, everywhere in the world except for the UK and the EU. And then I have another 3PL who's based in the UK who's going to be handling the UK and the EU shipping. And then I have another third party who's simply being paid to help me navigate paying the VAT taxes and stuff. So it's like, holy poop balls and crapolies. It's not fun. Anyway, so UK and Europe folks, I do apologize, but things will take longer for you because your governments have made it painful to do business in those countries, and I'm doing the best I can here. Sorry. It's 21% in the Netherlands. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, doing the best I can, but shall be soon. And then the next Kickstarter, Layers and Legends. I'm hoping we can do Layers and Legends in February. What I'm currently running into is that Kickstarter has this policy that you can't start another Kickstarter until your first Kickstarter has been fulfilled, which makes sense to a certain degree. I think, you know, you kind of probably want to not have a bajillion going on at once and make sure that you're fulfilling it. So I can kind of understand where they're coming from. But from my point of view, I'm literally just sitting here waiting for things to get printed and shipped, and they're telling me I can't start my next Kickstarter until the first one is fulfilled. So I'm hoping that we can start it in February, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but my hope is February. So there's your Kickstarter update. Okay. Amira Jensen, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. They ask, what's your favorite D&D monster to run? The Bear King. I'm gonna go with the Bear King tonight. I have never seen this monster before. I have never read the monster before. It is a CR12 monster that has lair actions and legendary actions. That is the way you're supposed to make a boss. Right there. Home of Beasts, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite monster. Usually I try to run monsters I haven't run before, sometimes, occasionally. I really love right now pulling monsters out of Home of Beasts because they're all really cool and new. And my players don't know what they do. JA, thank you so much for the $25 tip. So as a reminder, folks, all tips go directly to our charity of choice, which currently is All God's Children, which is a charity that helps orphans. That they call it institutionalized children, which basically means children who don't have mothers and fathers, and they are now living in institutions, orphan homes and stuff. I don't know. For whatever reason, they might be trying to avoid saying the word orphan. I don't know if that's has that become a bad word or something? I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, they help orphans, folks. So all tips tonight go toward All God's Children. Once we get to $500, we will give them a big old donation and we pick a new charity. So if you would like to help out, feel free to do so. We got $75 right now toward All God's Children. Okay, beautiful. Excellent. Look at my cats. Oh, we are doing a giveaway too. We're doing a giveaway as well. There should be a link in the chat if you want to join in the giveaway. It's a D&D book of your choice. Or if you're not in the US, DM Lair Store credit. So you could get into the Fae, back issues of Lair magazine, other cool stuff that we have as well. So jump in on the giveaway as well.
Oh, it's also for seized children and the like, and foster kids. It might be. I mean, they're helping. They help their kids down in Guatemala and Nigeria are the two countries they, according to their website, that they specialize in helping those two countries. So, but I can't speak to the specifics of those specific questions. Holy crap. I want to start running my own stories. I have the 3 most important books. How can I start? So you want to start running your own adventures. Adrian. Well, I think the first thing you need to do is find a group of people to run D&D with. That's probably your first step. Find people who want to play D&D. Once you get like 3-4 people together who want to play D&D, then you start planning your game. And I mean, I have an entire channel that talks about DM advice and stuff like that. Videos that I can recommend. I have a video called Session 0. You can look for a Session 0-bit video. That's some stuff to talk about in your Session 0, perhaps, if you want to have one of those. I have videos on how to make an adventure. You can also making adventures is probably the nuts and bolts of running a game of D&D. Making the adventure that the players can then go on the adventure. If you want to learn how to make adventures, I have videos on that. We also do live streams where we literally make an adventure on the live stream, so you can come by and see how we do that. I mean, there are tons of like actual plays out there that actually show people running D&D, so you can get an idea of how it's run. You know, it doesn't show you the stuff behind the screen, but you'll have to figure that out. Honestly, a lot of it is trial and error, and probably one of the best things you could do, if it's a possibility, is to play in a game first. If you can play first, that'll give you an idea of things, maybe a little bit. But if you can't, and you're just going to dungeon master right off the bat, then really you're just going to do the best you can. You're going to get the books, read the books, you're going to watch videos like on my YouTube channel, you're going to watch other groups on Twitch or on YouTube that are playing D&D to see how they're doing things, and you're going to do the best you can. You're going to do the very best you can. And you're probably gonna make lots of mistakes, but that's okay. And you're just gonna muddle your way through it. So that's probably some of the advice I can give you. It's not easy. It's not easy. Being a new dungeon master and just learning how to do it is super, super hard. And it's intimidating, and there's lots of stuff, and it can feel overwhelming. I totally get that. Which is the primary reason I make all the things that I make for dungeon masters, to help dungeon masters, because it's a hard thing. It's complicated, you know. It's tons of fun. But if you've never done it before, it can be totally overwhelming. So just do the best you can. It's part of my advice. And then, you know, watch a bunch of videos. Good night. Somebody's leaving. Here, Loki Zocht. Are you leaving? Goodbye. Or maybe you were saying good night to somebody else. Chris, thank you, my man, for the $50 tip. I really appreciate that, dude. Says, thank you for all the DM content and advice. I just closed out my campaign over 2 years and could not have done it without your advice. That's awesome. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. I'm happy to have been able to help too. That's awesome. What level did your campaign get to, dude? Did it go to like 20, 15 or something? Like, how high did they get? 2 years. They gotta been pretty high. 12 or 15, unless you're playing, how frequently you're playing. It usually takes, when I'm running D&D every other week, it takes us about 3 years to get to level 20. Is how I've kind of paced it out or figured it out. It takes a couple of sessions for the inside jokes to happen. Yeah. And then there's tons of inside jokes. We have so many. I know my coffee's running low. Thank you, Tasman. We have so many inside jokes, and you know what? Some of the inside jokes are based on like undesirable players that we've had and some of the bad things that they've done. And so we'll do so many things that are just references to that player or something that they did. you know, that we just die. And probably anybody, yeah, and that's the way the inside jokes work. People that don't know this context or the story would look at it and be like, what is so funny? What are these guys doing? Yeah, it's beautiful. Mara Jensen, you're leaving in 5 minutes? Why? Okay. Oh, game time. Okay, it's game time. You need to go. Especially if you're talking about a D&D game, then don't be late. Make sure you murderize at least one character tonight. But I didn't tell you that. Thomas Murphy says, hey Luke, stop making fun of my playing. Oh, I'm sorry. My cat wants attention. All right, let's grab a question here. Grim Goblin. Oh, Grime Goblin or Grim Goblin? Grim. It's Grim. Okay, cool. I had to see if it was a long I or a short I, but I figured it out. I have people who want to play D&D with less focus on combat. Any advice on how to run combat less or combat light game? Yeah. Just don't have a lot of combat. Okay, so there are two reasons that combat happens. One, the dungeon master decides to have the monsters attack. 2, the players decide to attack the monsters. Why do players decide to attack monsters? To resolve problems. And sometimes for the fun of it because they want to or whatever. But let's just say that since your group wants to do less combat, then the chances are that the only time your group of players is going to attack monsters is to resolve a problem. So the way to reduce the amount of combat in your game is to, you as the dungeon master, when you're designing the adventures and designing the game and role-playing your monsters, design it so that the monsters don't attack, they don't have motivation to attack, they don't want to attack, and then when you role-play them, don't have them attack. And so that takes care of the one part of attacking. Now the other part is when your players decide to attack the monsters in order to resolve a problem. So to avoid that from happening, you need to give them different ways to resolve the adventure, to resolve the problems than attacking. Probably that's going to come down to diplomacy, talking to the monsters, talking to different people. It might have exploration elements so that they can bypass monsters, get around them, and stuff like that. So you need to give them different ways to resolve the encounters than just simply combat. So if you do those two things, reduce the amount of times that you are having the monsters attack them, and give the players more options for resolving encounters besides just combat, then what's going to result is a game that has a less of a focus on combat. So those are the two ways that I would suggest going about doing that at a very high level. Now the specifics of how you do that are up to you, but at a high level, that's how you would do that. Yo. The Coast Morose. Hey, thank you, dude, for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. By the way, members get priority in their questions too. My moderators flag you with a special color on the spreadsheet, and your questions get prioritized. So that's a perk of being a YouTube member. There you go. Sanderpy, thank you so much for the $25 tip. I really appreciate that, dude. By the way, we are raising money for All God's Children International, which helps orphans in Guatemala and Nigeria. And so your $25 tip goes directly to them. Well, I mean, once we get to $500, we're going to donate. And we're at 100. Was it 150 we're at? Sweet. So thank you, Sandra. I really appreciate that. There's probably a link in the chat too for anybody who wants to tip and donate to that charity as well. Sandurpi says, love the channel. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate, or ma'am, I don't know. Sorry, just assumed.
Now they're like, give me my money back, Luke, you jerk. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like the channel, dude. The advice is amazing, and the seeds planted in my fresh GM mind are slowly growing. Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. An amazing 2022. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. You said my fresh GM mind, so that sounds like you might be a newish game master. So welcome to the party, dude. It's a world of fun. Let me believe it, but trust me, it's amazing. This cat. I have a cat that just keeps nibbling at me. All right. Woo! Farrier88, thank you, sir, for the, or ma'am. I just, you know, I don't know. I'm just gonna start calling people dude. I'm just gonna call everybody dude. No more sirs or ma'ams. Everybody's a dude now. Because dude can apply to anybody, right? Yeah. So, Farrier88, thank you, dude, for the $50 super chat. I really appreciate that. It looks like you have a question. We're gonna hold on to your question till after we give my cats their cat. What are we giving them right now? Treats. Their cat treats. They're gonna get their cat treats. They stop biting me. And then I'll answer your question, dude. So stand by. Suspense and drama. Rah. But first, a message from our sponsors.
This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022.
Okay, sweet. Did you guys hear my cat meowing? He was like, I mean, I could see it on my audio monitor. His meowing was going on the stream. I'm like trying to do like sponsored message and he's like meowing. Anyway, we have cat treats, so let's do this. All right, guys, we have chocolate. Let's go. Here's some chocolate. And then I have some other stuff for you. I'll be back.
All right, looks like they're wrapping up down there with the spectacle. Revarni. Yo, cats! Yes, we have cats. If Ed were here, I'd give him little guy. But Ed had to play D&D tonight. They're apparently having the final battle with Strahd in his Curse of Strahd game. And so he is not here. He's playing D&D. I was gonna offer him little guy, and now he's gonna miss out. So sorry, Ed. If you're listening to this on the replay, then you've missed out on your chance to get little guy. Ed wants one of my cats. All right, they've pretty much cleaned up down there, and now they're all gonna leave. They come and hang out with me because they know I'm gonna. It's like what is that one thing? That one there was that experiment they did where there was a scientist who got dogs to salivate or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? What is that? It's a famous experiment. Yes, Pavlov's bell. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like seriously, when I turn on my fancy streaming lights and crap, my cats know that means they're gonna get treats. Like I don't give them treats except for when I stream. Literally, their treat box sits down there, and the only time they get treats is when I stream. And so they know that when the stream lights come on, that they're going to be getting snacks. And so they just start lining up. And now that they've had their snacks, they're already walking away. There goes Orange. They're all just walking away now because they've had that's all they wanted. That's all they cared about. They weren't here because they loved me or they just wanted their treats. And once they get their treats, they're out of here. You can feel the love around here. Well, we have some like donation wars where people are getting their names up on they're just killing each other. Where is this? Let's woo. If you tip or super chat enough money, like $50, then you get your name up here. And we have a couple people that are just like to get their name up there. Okay, let's address some of that. Okay, so one of you had a question. So Farrier88, thank you again for the $50 super chat. Hey Luke, what's your opinion on the Wild Mage Surge chart in the PHB? Do you think there was a better table, and hope your vacation was relaxing? I enjoyed my vacation. I don't know. The thing I like about the vacation is that I'm not working on stuff. The thing I don't like about the vacation is that sometimes we just don't have much to do, and so we just kind of sit around and go out to eat and stuff, and then I feel like I've eaten too much, and I just feel like, you know, because I'm just eating too much. And so that's the downfall of vacation. But it was nice not to have to work for a bit. So thank you, dude. The Wild Mage Surge chart in the PHB. No, I don't necessarily like it a whole lot. The options on it aren't super great. I think that the dungeon coach might have made a bigger table for Wild Magic Surge. So what I would recommend doing is you could probably go to the dungeon coach, and you know what, we could probably, I wonder if he has a store. Dungeon coach Wild Mat. Oh, it popped right up. Okay, here we go. We're going to here we go. Yes. So the dungeon coach, here we go, has a Wild Magic Surge table for, okay, nope, don't need that. For $750 over here. It's got 300 things in it. Beautiful. Cool. I'm gonna throw this in the chat for you. I have not reviewed this. I don't know what this is. I do know that the dungeon coach is awesome. So there's probably some cool stuff in there for you. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. Maybe his little thingy bobber there is pretty cool. All right. So, oh yeah, that was the question was, do you think there's a better table? I'm willing to bet the Dungeon Coach's table is pretty cool. Farrier88, thank you for the $5 super chat. Luke, I just decided to change my profile name. It's Talon. Oh, cool. Thanks, dude. By the way, Talon, Farrier88, I'm pretty sure you're the one that suggested those two charities, right? The All God's Children, who we're donating to tonight, and then there was another one you suggested as well that I liked, and we're gonna donate to them next time around. Who was it? Let me find that bookmark. I bookmarked them so I don't lose them. Everyone for Veterans, yeah. So we're gonna hit them up next time. So I always appreciate it when folks give me recommendations for charities that we can help support. There's no guarantee that I'm going to, you know, officially support a charity on stream, but I'll look at the recommendations, go review it, and if it's a charity and a cause that I believe in and that I feel for, you know, then we'll do it, you know, because what was it? It wasn't for YouTube, but I remember I was at my day job once, and one of the guys wanted our team to do some volunteer work at a charity in town. And I did not agree with what this charity was actually doing. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I will review them, but there's no guarantee that all charities will get officially sponsored or supported, if that makes sense. So yeah. All right, let's keep going here. Okay, Kirby, thank you for the $50 tip. Really appreciate that, dude. We're at $200 now, raised toward the All God's Children International, which helps support orphans in Guatemala and Nigeria. Really appreciate that, Kirby. Owen Davies, thank you for the $13.25 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. You probably gave me some like normal monetary amount and it got converted into dollars. You probably gave me 10 pounds. Yeah, I don't need 10 pounds right now, dude. I ate way too much on my vacation. Lots of food, but I appreciate it. Happy New Year from Europe. What's up? Is it New Year for you yet, dude? Where are you? You're like in Scotland, right? Somewhere thereabouts. Is it actually New Year for you right now, dude? James Wren, yeah, I'm taking questions. I'm right now. People have been giving me a bunch of super chats and tips, and I'm, you know, showing some love and appreciation for that. But yes, we are doing questions. We'll get to that. It's 1:15 in the Netherlands. Okay, cool. Owen says that, yeah, it's January 1st. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hunter Loggins, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Nixit, hello. Yo, what up, man? Good to see you here. Donaldo Cruz, what's up? Happy New Year, buddy. All right. Keep working through them here. Farrier88, thank you, Farrier88, for the $50 super chat. I appreciate that. He says, nice try, Kirby. LOL, and it's Talon. I just changed my name. I think that's because they're having the war to get their name up top. Yeah. Kirby got his name up, and then Talon was like, no, dude, rejected. Get out of here. All right. Beautiful. Dangerous Encounters, dude, thank you so much for the $100 super chat, man. That is so very cool. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. My wife's gonna want half of that. After the stream, my wife will be like, Luke, I want half of that. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Happy New Year, and thanks to everything you do. You are very welcome, dude. Been DMing since 1976. That's cool. Game recognizes game. Yeah, 1976, isn't that when D&D was originally released? Isn't that the exact date that D&D came out? So like it came out and you were like, dude, I'm on that. Question, how do you introduce time-based elements into your game? You hear a ticking sound behind the wall, and after a few minutes, you notice the ticking has sped up. So generally speaking, when I'm doing time-based elements like that, well, there are two different types of time-based elements. One where you're tracking in days or in weeks, right? And you have something on a calendar, and
and you're just kind of tracking toward it, and your players know about that as well, and then they're tracking toward it. But what you're specifically referring to is a shorter time span, like minutes or seconds or something like that. So I literally, in my Dungeon Master bag, I have a bunch of sand timers. And I think that if my moderators can put a link to my Amazon store, I'm pretty sure that I have the sand timers that I use listed in my Amazon store. Any sand timers will do. You don't need the ones I use. I have like really cheap ones. But anyway, I have sand timers. I have one for like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and I think I have one for 10 minutes. I don't know, it's something like that. And so if I'm gonna do something specifically where time is important, then I will literally grab my sand timer out and I will flip it and put it there. And then my players can see that time, that sand trickling down. Times that we've used this, for instance, whenever you're doing a spell like Speak with Dead, here's the thing about Speak with Dead. It has a specific duration. I think it's either 5 or 10 minutes. Something tells me it's 10 minutes. It has a very specific duration, and it allows you to ask, I think 3 questions, maybe 5 questions. But what always happens is, well, there are one of two things is gonna happen. The player casts the spell, and then he's like, oh crap, what should we ask? And then the whole group starts to discuss. Well, guess what? That discussion time counts against your 10 minutes, which is running out on the timer. And they're discussing, and then they ask, and then they finally ask their question, and they already wasted some time. Now, my group knows that I'm gonna keep track of the 10 minutes. So for instance, my Curse of Strahd group, before they cast the spell, one of them's gonna be like, whoa, 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 whoa. All right, we need to talk about what questions we're gonna ask the dead dude, because you know Luke's gonna time the 10 minutes and only give us 10 minutes. Yeah. And so they'll come up with a list of questions they're gonna ask. And then what happens is they cast the spell, I flip the timer over, and then they ask the first question, and I give the response, and they're just like, oh no! Ah! That changed everything! And now we have to rethink our questions. And so then, thus, of course, keeping track of the time is where that comes in. And that can go for anything. You know, it doesn't have to be that spell. It can be anything where you want there to be a time constraint. Literally just get out a sand timer and put it in front of them so they can see the time ticking away. You want them to feel that pressure. You want them to feel that, oh, it's getting lower. Dude, sometimes you can just pull out a timer, a little sand timer, and put it there in front of the players, and they don't even know why it's there. They don't even know what it means. You can literally, they could be like, okay, I opened the door. Okay, you open the door. And then you put that timer out there, and they're like, what's that? It's just a timer. But what's it for? Your character doesn't know. Your character isn't even aware there's a timer, you know, and then they're all just sweating it. So you can also use it for that. But yep, that's what I do. I literally just pull out. You can use a stopwatch or something too if you want. But sand timers are like really cheap, and you carry them with you, and then you pull them out and use them. So that's what I do, dude. So again, thank you for $100. Really appreciate that, dude. You've been playing D&D since the very, very beginning, man. I didn't start playing D&D until about, I think it was around 1996 when I was in high school, is when I officially started playing D&D. MC Tasman, thank you for the $5 tip. I appreciate that. What is the best way to start DMing? Pre-written or homebrew campaign? Okay, so, I need to click that box. Oh, poopy. Ah! Where's that? Can my moderator click that box? Where's the box for that? Click the box in the spreadsheet for that question, please. So, what is the best way to start DMing? Pre-written or a homebrew campaign? My suggestion is that if you are a first-time dungeon master, you've never DM'd before, you've never run a game before, you're just learning how to run the game, you're just learning what the game is about. Maybe you've been a player before, and so you have a little bit of experience, but you've never actually been a dungeon master before. My recommendation for you
is 100% do a pre-written adventure, run a module. If you'd like, you can pick up Into the Fae, for instance. It's a module that I wrote, and we're fulfilling it right now on Kickstarter. You can get the PDF version and all of the digital files and maps and stuff right now on the DM Lair store. And it is a beautiful module, runs you from level 1 to 5. It is new Dungeon Master friendly. And the beautiful thing about Into the Fae and other modules as well is that it does a lot of the work for you as a Dungeon Master. And that's a good thing when you are a new Dungeon Master, because you're learning the entire game. You have to learn the rules. You have to learn how to be a Dungeon Master. You need to learn how to run the table, how to manage the social interactions that are happening at the table. That is a big component of being a Dungeon Master as well, which is not usually included in any of the rules that you're going to read probably from the Dungeon Master Guide. I don't know, maybe it does talk about it. I doubt it. So you're learning a whole bunch of stuff. You might even be creating your own world, your own game setting to run the game in. So on top of all of that, you're also going to create your own adventures. That's a lot to do all at once. And I'm going to tell you, creating adventures is probably the most challenging part of being a game master. It is challenging to create an adventure, to create a plot hook that is going to get your players motivated, their characters motivated to go actually do it and not just ignore it. And then for the adventure to be fun and entertaining, for the encounters to be properly balanced as much as possible, as much as you can, and not to have them be too easy or too overwhelmingly deadly and powerful, to incorporate the adventuring day mechanic properly, which I feel like probably 80% of Dungeon Masters, even veterans, probably don't know about or use. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of rules and other things that go into creating an adventure, and it's a lot to do. And if you're just starting out and if you're just learning, then that could just be completely overwhelming. So my advice to new Dungeon Masters is, as much as possible, minimize your workload. We call it workload. It's fun load. There are things that we enjoy doing that are fun to do for most of us. Maybe not all of it, but minimize all of that and focus on learning how to be a Dungeon Master first. So my recommendation would be, don't make your own game setting. Use Eberron or Forgotten Realms or whatever suits your fancy, and then get a pre-written module. You can get Into the Fae, you can get, I don't know, whatever ones Wizards makes and crap. Get a module to run as well. And then you can learn how to actually run the game for your players using pre-written material. There are two things that's going to happen. One, it's probably going to make your life a little bit easier because all that content has been created for you to begin with. But two, the second thing that it's going to help you learn, it's going to help you learn how to actually make adventures yourself. When you're running a pre-written adventure and when you're paying attention to and analyzing and seeing the things that happen in pre-written adventures, when you can see how there's a plot hook, how there's a rising action, and then there's usually a boss fight, which is your climax, and then there's a wrap-up where you get your quest rewards and things are all settled down. There's that, it's your standard part, it's like how movies and plays, well, it's how some movies do things these days. Not all movies follow this. What is it, a four stages or 3 stages or whatever? Anyway, there's a way of telling a story, or it's not really telling a story as a Dungeon Master, but there's a way of writing an adventure so that it follows this pattern. And theoretically, adventure modules should be doing that if they're written by experienced folk. Each adventure should have that little bit of rising action, climax, and then the wrap up. I don't know if it's 3 stages or 4 stages. But when you run a pre-written adventure, you're going to see that happening and you're going to learn how to do that stuff. You're going to see how they do certain things if you pay attention, which means that later on, when you do it yourself, it's theoretically going to be easier because you're going to have observed and run something that somebody else did, making your life easier down the road. And you can learn from that. Same with pre-written campaign settings like Eberron. If you see the way somebody has designed one before and you run it and use it for a while, if you decide to create your own campaign setting in the future, your own world for your games to take place in, it's going to be easier for you having observed how somebody else did it.
as well. So that's my recommendation for 2 reasons: reducing your workload or your fun load, and also learning how professionals, to varying degrees, create campaign settings and modules or pre-written adventures, so that you can then get better at it and do better in the future. So that is my recommendation. I feel like my suspicion is that most new dungeon masters are probably not going to do that. They're going to ignore that, and they're just going to make their own campaign setting and make their own adventures. And the reason I think that's probably going to be the case is a lot of game masters become game masters because they want to create those things. That's part of the drive of why they want to be dungeon masters in the first place. I mean, some people are forced into it because nobody else will be the dungeon master and they just have to do it. There is that case, you know, got it. But others really want to do it because that is our creative outlet. We love creating the world and the campaign setting. We love creating the adventures. So in that being the case, I feel like a lot of dungeon masters are probably just going to ignore that advice and just create their own stuff, which is fine. I mean, it's a game and you're welcome to do it however you want. And I totally get it too, because you need to have that creative outlet, and being a dungeon master is a way to do that. So yeah, there's my advice, and then there's what most people will probably do. But I don't blame you for it, because it's a lot of fun to create those things and run it for your players. Who's in the sheet tonight? Did we get that? Zack, are you in the sheet? Did we get that question marked? There, it's a 4 stages: the beginning, the rising action, the climax, and the conclusion. Thank you. Yes. And that corresponds to the plot hook, the beginning of the adventure. The climax is usually the boss fight, and the conclusion is where you like, we won, and then you get your reward and stuff. You can't find the line. I really want the timestamp on that. Can you create a custom line for that question? It's the MC Tasman. Thank you again. The best way to start DMing, pre-written or homebrew campaign. Just create a custom line in there, please, and put a timestamp on it so I can find it later. Put it on the line that I'm typing good in right now. Would you, kind sir? Thank you. I want to make sure we get that one. He's Vandenberg. What's up, dude? Hey, Dutch guy here. And do you want to read this? I do now. I do now. I'm in DM for Just Starters, and I started DM myself, but it's been over a year since we have played. How to get them hyped to play Legendary Mines of Phandelver again? I don't know how to get your players hyped to play it. Like, you just don't know. Hey guys, you want to play D&D again? I don't know. I don't know your players. I don't know the things that motivates them. I don't know the things that would get them hyped up. If I had just taken a big break and I wanted to play again, I would reach out to my players, my former players, and be like, hey guys, I know we had a big break, but I would love to play D&D again. You guys in? Who's in? Let's play some D&D. And then you're going to get some people that respond. Okay, great. If it's not enough people, then find some more players. But you just start by asking them who's interested. And then if you don't have enough players, go find some more. But I don't know how to get them hyped, dude. I am not a hype man for my games. Like, my players just need to be interested in playing D&D. They need to hype themselves up. My games are usually like demoralized. I don't know. I'm like, your players are, your characters are constantly under threat of death. But hey, if you win, you get lots of cool stuff. Actually, they win most of the time. The game is designed so that they win. That's how 5th edition is. Shazar, hey, dude, thank you so much, dude, for the $25 tip, man. I really appreciate that. I know that was like 14 minutes ago. I apologize. Really appreciate that. We are raising money for All God's Children. They are. Let me go over to this. I'll show you. I'll show you their page.
They are a charity that helps orphans down in Nigeria and Guatemala. So anybody, you know, orphans and institutions, they help them with like food, clothing, education, I would assume medical care, all that kind of good stuff. They also help with the adoption process, so they can help find, you know, forever families and stuff like that. So very, very cool. We're trying to raise $500 for these folks, and we are, what is it, 230? I think we're at about $230 or thereabouts. I can't quite read the number because it's really, really small on my screen, but we're getting closer. Woo! Once we get to $500, we give them a big donation, and then we pick another charity. So really appreciate that. All tips go directly to these folks. All right, let's go back to here. I'm getting hungry. Who else is getting hungry? Who wants to look at pictures of food? The first person to type in the name of a type of food, we're gonna look at it on stream. I need a type of food to look at. A delicious food. Give me a delicious food that I can Google. Let's go. Let's go. Waffles. Waffles is like, it's that time again? I mean, somebody put pizza. What are you gonna do? Somebody wrote pizza. I can't. I literally promised the first thing. All right, here we go. All right, let's find the best looking pizza. This is pretty good. That looks good. This is from Main Street Pizza. We have one of these near where I live. There's Main Street pizzas all over the place. Ooh, this one looks pretty good. Oh, look at this one! Pizza in the US. Woohoo! Oh, this one looks nice. Dang, that looks good. This looks horrible. Cheese? Only cheese? What kind of insane maniac would do that? Okay. Oh, look at Halloween pizza. Whee! Halloween pizza. I just insulted everybody who likes cheese pizza. Oh, this looks good. Oh, this looks good. I love black olives. Oh, that looks really good. Oh man, it's New Year's. Why am I not ordering pizza on New Year's? Oh my. Because I just ate a whole bunch of garbage when I was on vacation. That's why. Okay. All right. Pizza time's done. Thank you. Now we're back to our regular scheduled program. John Barry. Yeah, dude. We're talking about food again. Michael Fox. Happy New Year, dude. Never heard of the 4 cheese pizza? No, Grim Goblin. I mean, yeah. Can't just do cheese. You can't just do cheese. Okay, here we go. Aiden Paul, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. How do you handle the fame adventurers get when they start to level, like being recognized and having fans? Generally, the way that I handle that sort of thing is with a faction favor system, whereby there are different factions in the game that they're interacting with through their adventures, and what they do on their adventures and how they resolve their adventures influences their favor with different factions. So, the Lords of Waterdeep, their favor might be going up because they're doing things to help them. But Granny Titchwillow, your favor with her might be going down because you're doing things that oppose her plans. And so they'll have a faction favor system that will change as they progress through the game. So that's one thing, and that isn't necessarily their fame and having fans, but it is correlated or tied to that a little bit. As far as their actual fame, I don't do a whole ton with it, except that just remember in my mind, you know, that when they are in Waterdeep, which is the base of their operations, that people know who they are. They know who the Sword Coast Guard is, or they know who is it? Oh my gosh, Zack, I'm drawing a blank. What is the name of your guys' group? Something Blade. Crap, I forget the name of your guys' group. Zack, what's the name of your guys' adventuring group? Harlequin's Blade. People know who Harlequin's Blade is, and they know what their like symbol is, and so they recognize them. And then the guards know who they are, and so
people, especially people in authority, magisters, guards, they will give them a little bit of recognition and difference. Like, oh, yes, we know who you are. If we see you running down the streets covered with blood, we assume that you're probably on official business and we probably shouldn't be interfering with you. I don't know. Commoners on the streets might recognize them and things like that, but it's nothing I usually plan. It's mostly things I just am cognizant of the fact that they are level 12 now. They have some fame in the world. People will kind of know who they are. And so I will remember that usually when I'm having different people interact with them. And I will have their fame flavor those interactions and influence those interactions as well, to a certain degree. Kirby, thank you for another $25 tip. I appreciate that, dude. Goes to our charity. Thank you, dude. Kirby got his name up on the board again. Look at that. He just wants to have his name up there. Oh, turn my fan on. Does anyone in your party have the chef feat? No. What's the chef feat? Is that a real thing? Is the chef feat a real thing in D&D, you guys? My party keeps running into Ack Inc., the franchises. Yeah, one of my groups, my Ancient Dragon Patreon group, they are an Ack Inc. franchise. Like that's literally what they are. Silver Razors, that sounds familiar. What is that from? Lazix Vonberg. What is the Silver Razors from? That sounds so familiar. Where do I know that from? I think the chef feat is in Tasha's. Are you serious? Okay, we're gonna look at that. We have to look at this. Chef. It's a feat. Oh my gosh. Time spent mastering the culinary arts has paid off, granting you the following benefits. Your constitution or wisdom goes back by 1. You gain proficiency with cook's tools if you don't already have it. Yay. As part of a short rest, you can cook special food provided you have the ingredients and cook's utensils on hand. A short rest. Okay. You can prepare enough of this food for a number of creatures equal to 4 plus your proficiency bonus. At the end of the short rest, any creature who eats the food and spends 1 or more hit dice to regain hit points regains an extra 1d8 hit points. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's kind of like the bard's little song thing, the song of rest that the bard can do. With 1 hour of work or when you finish a long rest, you can cook a number of treats equal to your proficiency bonus. These special treats last 8 hours after being made. A creature can use a bonus action to eat one of those treats to gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. Wow. So it's kind of like a good berry, except that it's temporary hit points instead of an actual hit point, which is a big difference. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good feat. Yeah, that's pretty good. I've never had anybody take it, but it's not too bad. Lucky 10 Luke, what's up? How you doing? Oh, we're doing a giveaway tonight too, guys. There's a link in chat for the giveaway. We're giving away a D&D book or a DM Lair store credit. So sign up for the giveaway. Get some free stuff. Maybe if you win. Only if you win. It's not for everybody. You have to win. Yeah, it didn't seem overpowered to me. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It didn't seem overpowered. I don't know that I would take that over something like mobile.
or some other really good feat. There are some really good feats in the player handbook. Like, there are some really good ones in there. So yeah. Oh, the Silver Razors is the name of the adventuring group you're playing with Sunny and Ed. Oh yeah, I knew that name sounded familiar. I didn't know what our name was. Am I dead yet? No, my monk. Dude, by the way, Zach, I'm actually having lots of fun playing that monk. I'm really enjoying that monk for various reasons. Yeah, so I'm really happy I rolled up a monk. I've in the past, I've been very negative about monks, and I'm gonna have to change that because I really like it. Do feats stack? Most game effects don't stack. As a general rule, they don't stack. Zing Zippers asks, I'm about to wrap up the first part in our campaign, and I want to reward my players with a base of operations. Any tips a new DM should know about doing this? Yes, I'll give you a couple tips. Tip number one, a base of operations could simply be the bad guy's place they cleared out. So most bases of operations, most properties that my players and their characters have acquired over the years have been as a result of finding a bad guy in X place, wiping out the bad guy, and then commandeering their property. Or if it's in a city, going to the city, administrative offices and then, buying it or getting it made official or however. But they usually get it from the bad guys because they cleared them out and killed them all and now it's ours. And they figure it out. So that's one easy way to give them a property. You can also give them a property as a reward. So if they did a bunch of good stuff for the Lords of Waterdeep, one of the open lord might reward them and say, listen, you guys have been doing lots of things to benefit the city, and you've been living out of that tavern. Yeah, we're gonna get you your own place. So as a reward for all of the wonderful things you've been doing around here, we're giving you this place here, and then they get it as a reward. So those are some ideas on how to give them, ways that you might give them their base of operations. Let your players, and second idea is let your players tweak it out and put cool stuff in it if they want to. I had a base of operations once that one of my players made a map for and everything and had it all figured out and the layout and everything, and it was pretty cool. And then some of the other players were like, deciding the different things they would buy and where they would put them and stuff. My suggestion for that is let them do that offline, outside of your normal game time, because that sort of activity is probably not going to appeal to all of your players. Some of them might be really keen about it and want to spend time getting their base of operations all tweaked out, figuring out where they're going to put different traps and things like that to keep out intruders and all that stuff. But some of your other players are probably not going to be super excited about that and would rather just use their playtime to go adventuring and stuff. So if you're going to spend a little bit of game time to deal with the base of operations and getting it furnished and all that sort of thing, then keep that game time minimal, or ask your players, the ones that are actually interested in doing that, maybe they can do that offline as opposed to taking up game time. That's the thing, and they'll have fun doing that. And then the third thing, my third recommendation for you is be very sparing or with invading their base, let us say. So you're gonna find that it will be a temptation for you as the dungeon master. You'll be like, oh, my players have a cool thing. They have a base of operations. And then you're gonna wanna like smash the crap out of it, or you're gonna wanna threaten it, or the bad guys are gonna invade it, or they'll attack it, or they'll, and this is going to occur to you. Your players have a cool thing, and now let's threaten that cool thing. be sparing with that. Approach that with caution. My suggestion to you is that for the most part, let their base of operations be a safe place. It's a safe zone where they can mostly just be okay with putting their things there, stashing their stuff there, going there to rest when they're in the city, taking downtime and that sort of thing. For the most part, most of the time. And then be very selective about when you do threaten their base of operations. And don't make it be very often. Have it be every so often, every once in a while, there might be a threat to their base of operations. An enemy might try to invade it or take it over, or you might have them come back from an adventure to find that somebody has commandeered their base of operations. And their next adventure is to get them out and retake their base. But be careful about that. Don't do that a whole lot. For the most part, let them have their base. Let it be a reward. If you're constantly threatening it and constantly having bad guys going against it and stuff, it starts to feel less like a reward and less like a cool thing and more like a pain in the butt that they're constantly having to deal with people taking their base away and then getting it back and stuff. So be selective about when you decide to do that, would be my suggestion for that. Where was that? Okay, there we go. Have you ever run for two parties in the same world? I think so. Yeah. Any pitfalls to avoid? Well, it's either a pitfall or a good thing. But interactions with those two parties. It can be a pitfall because it could be a pain in the butt. How do you handle that interaction between the two different parties? Are you going to have them come together, having a big, huge 10+ person game when those two parties are interacting? Are you going to handle those interactions offline? How are you going to handle those interactions is the question. So that could be a problem, or it could be something you design and something that is a feature of the game that you're running. So it can be either good or bad. My preference would probably be like worlds are big places. Like they're not only is the world a big place, but the timeline is such that you could have one party in Waterdeep 10 years earlier than another party in Waterdeep. And now this party right here might occasionally learn about things that this other party did 10 years ago, and that can be really cool. But they don't have to interact with each other, which saves you some headache, in my opinion. Unless you really want to do that, and then you just have to implement that and the logistics of it and have fun doing that. So it's either a pitfall or a feature, however you want to look at it. What I have done, I've definitely done the whole route of having a current party learn of things that a past party has done. And I've had characters from past parties be NPCs that the current party runs into and interacts with. I've done that before, and that's really cool. I like doing that because then there's a history. There's a whole story you can tell if it comes up and if it can fit organically into gameplay. And that's really cool too. So I've definitely done that before. Did you just see the bottom of the coffee mug? I mean, we're getting close. We're getting kind of close. Yeah. How many backup big bads should I have in a campaign just in case? Kat, I don't necessarily think you need backup big bads until you need them. Like, I don't know what do you think's gonna happen to the first big bad that you need backup big bads? I mean, I would plan out your campaign, plan out the situations and the adventures and stuff, and then just play it by ear. Like, if something happens where you need another villain, you can always grab another villain and put them in.
but you don't need to necessarily have them prepared in advance, I don't think. Because, you know, it's not like the game is transpiring all in one go, and if you're not ready for it, you're screwed. You know, there's always an end to a current game session, and then time to prepare before the next game session. So if you need one, you just grab one and go. What would you do to make weapons more interesting to interact with? I don't... There's a presumption that there's a problem with weapons being uninteresting to interact with. And I don't know that I necessarily see the problem myself to be able to hypothesize a solution to the problem. So I really have nothing for you. I'm sorry. Have you ever played in a game where you fought Tiamat or used Tiamat against your players? How did the combat go? Yes, it did. Tiamat was in my Hand of Light group. They fought Tiamat once they reached level 20. They had gotten the Deck of Many Things. I have a video on the Deck of Many Things, by the way, that literally shows you the gameplay of what happened when my Hand of Light group got the Deck of Many Things and how many of them got screwed over. One of them had the soul of her character sucked out and gone. And so her character was dead, essentially, and she had to roll up a new character. And then later on, the players discovered that Tiamat in Avernus on the first level of the Nine Hells had the character's soul. And so once they hit level 20 there and they finished up the main thing of the campaign, they were like, okay, now we're going to get her soul back. And so they went into the Nine Hells and they went into Tiamat's palace. They were like, so the way I made her palace was there was like a central area, like a central dome, and that was where Tiamat was. And then there were 4 spires around the central dome. Each of the spires corresponded to one of the elements. So you had a green one for poison, a blue one for lightning, a red one for fire, and then probably a white one for ice, for cold. And they had to go into each of these spires fighting, I don't know, kobolds, half dragons, Abishai, all those different things. And they had to, in each of these spires, I think they had to retrieve some sort of MacGuffin. I forget what it was. There was some sort of MacGuffin in each of the spires that they had to retrieve. And then once they had all 4 of them, they could open up the central dome. And then they could go into the dome and actually face Tiamat herself. And the final battle with Tiamat, every single round, the terrain, the environment shifted. So in one round, they were in a swamp fighting Tiamat, and swamp. And then the next round, it would shift to, I believe it was the interior of a volcano with molten lava and stuff, and they were fighting Tiamat there. The next round, they shifted to, what was it? The green was like poison or something. So I don't know where it shifted to something, a forest, probably like a forest, I would imagine. And then it shifted to, on the next round for the cold, it was probably some sort of ice cavern or something, I would imagine. I don't know. But anyway, every single round, the environment shifted to one of the different elements of Tiamat. And they had to fight her that way. And yeah, they fought her and they almost all died. They just barely managed to kill Tiamat. The barbarian went down one of her necks, one of her throats. He like swam down her throat, and then no. They chopped one of her heads off. They chopped one of her heads off, and then in the opening on the neck, the barbarian's like, I jumped down the opening, and he went down her neck, and then just started hacking her apart from the inside. And then that was part of, and then he got the killing blow, and I think he probably like ripped his way out of her chest or something. I don't know. But yeah, they fought Tiamat and they beat her, and then they got the soul back of their companion. So that is when my players fought Tiamat. This was like 3 years ago or so, I would guess. Bye, Nixit. Have a good one, dude. Old Dungeon Master, what's up? How you doing? Black for acid.
Yeah, it would be black for acid. Yeah, I probably misspoke. I mean, Tiamat's like kind of like a deity, so you can't really kill Tiamat. But they defeated her at the very least. Listugui Boy 1, thank you for the $5 tip, dude. I really appreciate that. Probably have a question there. Where is that question? Is that in the sheet? Could we get that question in the sheet? Mr. Gore, welcome back. Thank you for $5 tip. My PC was at a high level, used clone spell many times, but was de-leveled for story purposes. Your opinion on level 3 having access to a limited amount of clones, plus having a teen version of themselves, but the age is based on a die roll. What? Okay, so I'm just gonna give you my opinion on some of the things there. Being de-leveled for story purposes, I don't like that. I would be pretty upset if I had a powerful character that I had gotten up to a high level and then they lost their levels for story purposes. I don't think I would feel very fond about that, unless the Dungeon Master and I spoke about it and we were both really like, cool, this sounds awesome, let's do this. If we were both conniving together to do it and planned together, then that's a different story. But if it just happened for story purposes, I would not be happy at all to lose character levels. No, not cool. A level 3 character having access to a limited amount of clones? That seems really powerful. But you lost your high level, so I don't know. I'm assuming the Dungeon Master is creating adventures that are balanced for a level 3 character having access to a bunch of clones. Maybe. But if you're with other level 3 characters who don't have that additional power, that seems really unbalanced for them, but I don't know. So anyway, I don't know. Those are some very basic thoughts about that. I guess at the end of the day, the real question is, are you guys all having fun and enjoying the game? That's really all that matters. If you're all having fun and loving it and enjoying the game, then that's the important thing, and it really doesn't matter what I think. So if you're enjoying yourselves, ignore me and just keep doing your thing. White Sanity, hello! What's going on? That is the deal with D&D. There are rules, but the DM wins every time. I never win. My monsters always die. What are you talking about? So it is less about rules and more about a social contract with your players about how fuzzy or strict they want it. I like rules, though. I like following the rules. I think that the rules give everybody a solid foundation of how things work, and like it's the structure of the game. It's the format of the game, the foundation of the game. Like it sets expectations. When there are rules and they're published and your players know what the rules are, and the Dungeon Master knows what the rules are, and people are following the rules, those are the expectations. We know how things work. I know that if I want to grapple somebody, that this is what it does. And I know that it is an opposed check between my strength and their strength or acrobatics. Like, you know, like when we have rules, it just helps everybody to play the game and approach it from on the same page. When you don't have the rules, or the rules are up in the air and it's all left to DM fiat and judgment calls in the moment, because if there are no rules, who else is making those decisions with the Dungeon Master? Then things are more nebulous and you're not sure. And then you're really relying upon your trust in your Dungeon Master. And, you know, because you don't know what the rules are up in the air. And so they're just kind of deciding things. And then it's like, well, maybe you got a wonderful Dungeon Master and everything's going to be super fair.
And they're going to be able to keep everything straight up here, all of their past rulings, you know, and the new ones and stuff. But maybe you got a pretty bad dungeon master. They're kind of a jerk, you know, and they're going to make rulings that favor them and their bad guys, or even worse, they're going to make rulings that favor certain players' characters and don't favor other players' characters for reasons, you know. And so I feel like when you don't have that structure of rules and you don't have that foundation and those expectations aren't set, that you could go south at varying velocities depending upon the players and the dungeon master, I guess. So there is that risk there when you're just playing really loose and fast with the rules. Whereas when you have the rules and people follow the rules, then I think you have less of the chance of someone feeling like, hey, that's not fair. Well, actually, it's in the rules and we're following the rules, so it actually is kind of fair because that's the rules set the expectation of fairness. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the rules and why I follow the rules for the most part. Lord God, thank you for the 217 super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. There you go. Click that button right there. Woo. Ooh. Oh. That is a really good question. We're going to talk about that after the break. All right, we're going to do a cat trip. I'm going to give out addictive legal substances, also known as catnip, to my kitty cats. And they are going to do stupid things and probably try to bite each other. But before we do that, before we give my cats catnip, a word from our sponsors. This content is brought to you by the Layers and Legends Kickstarter, coming in early 2022. Are you a dungeon master looking to reduce your prep time but still run awesome games for your players? Would you like professional pre-made 5th edition adventures, maps, traps, puzzles, magic items, and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? The Layers and Legends Kickstarter will create 2 gorgeous hardcover books for dungeon masters containing all of this and more. The first book, Layers and Legends, will deliver 25 5th edition compatible adventures spanning levels 1 to 15 and over 100 new terrifying monsters to pit against your players. The second book, Loot and Lore, will deliver 50 magic items, 25 puzzles, 40 traps, 10 factions, 30 standalone encounters with maps, 30 villains, 30 NPCs, 70 random tables, 30 adventure ideas, 20 spells, and 4 subclasses. And through the beauty of Kickstarter and stretch goals, we'll be able to commission beautiful artwork for both books and add even more content. Furthermore, in addition to the hardcovers, you can also get both books in PDF format and a digital map pack containing all the maps from both books. And if you'd like to pick up a hardcover copy of our last Kickstarter, Into the Fae, it will be available as an add-on to Layers and Legends. Click the link below to join the Layers and Legends email list and get notified when it goes live in early 2022. Okay, my cats are going crazy. What, little guy? Little guy. All right, so I have the wrong button. The happy carrot is being ripped apart. The happy carrot has looked happier and it's starting to look, well, I mean, he's still smiling. He's wet. He's literally wet. I think my cats have been chewing on this recently. Or something else. Leave that to our imaginations, shall we? And we don't know what this is or was. whatever this once was, it's long been destroyed. So anyway, we're gonna put some catnip on this stuff. All right. Oh, we gotta do the cat. Yeah, I know, Squeaky. I know. Jeez. Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there. Calm down. Calm down, everybody. Jeez. Jeez. Here's another one. Yes. Okay, I'll give you the feathers. Here.
Guys are crazy. All right, I'm gonna go bio. I'll be right back. Watch my kitties. They are adorable. Little guy. He wants his belly rubbed. He wants his belly rubbed. Little guy. Squeaky is going crazy down there. He loves that stuff. Squeaky. Look at that. He knows his name. Squeaky. Squeaky. Okay, maybe he doesn't. Oh, maybe he just knows my voice. How calming? I don't know, Grant. He seems to be getting worked up. He usually like freaks out and runs off at some point. He'll get so worked up he'll just like jump up and just run. And let's be honest, he could use the exercise. Look at it. He's like, I want the carrot. Give me the carrot. You don't mess with mommy cat. Mommy cat will kick your butt. Squeaky is under the catnip monster spell. Yeah. Diary of a New Dungeon Master. I'm running my first campaign and I have a basic starter idea but struggle with each step after it. PCs are level 1 and I worry the storyline will be too basic Should I do anything or am I being too critical? Too critical. Don't worry about it, dude. It's cool. Don't worry about basic storylines and basic plot arcs and adventures and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. Just go ahead and just do it. Run it. Have fun. Especially, dude, it's your first campaign. There he goes. Look at him. I told you, he just randomly jumps up and takes off like a maniac. It's your first campaign, dude. Don't worry about it. Just start and do it and have fun. And as you do more and as you get experience, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, you know, and then you'll look back at the beginning stuff that you did and you'll be like, holy crap, it sucked so bad. That's fine. I have found my Dungeon Master notes and stuff from back when I ran in college, and it was horrible. This is garbage. And I'm like, I don't understand why anybody would play this game. It's just horrible garbage. And the thing is that even if I had tried harder, it would have still been garbage. Like, when you're a novice to something, like trying harder, spending more time, you're just gonna get such tiny gains in quality and stuff that it's probably not even worth it. It's better to just do your 20% of your effort to get your 80% of the results and call it a day. You can spend more and more time and your results and the quality is only gonna get a tiny bit better because your limiting factor is your experience. You've just never done it before, you know, and you just don't know the things to do the things, and you need more experience before you can actually make it better. And so don't worry too much about trying to do it like an amazing professional dungeon master out of the gate. You're gonna be frustrated because you're going to know or feel that it's not where you want it to be, but you don't necessarily have the skills or the time or whatever to make it where you want it to be. And so it's just gonna be an exercise in frustration for you. And you're gonna feel like you're chasing a goal that you can't achieve, and you might just give up before you even begin. So I would just not go there. Just start and play the game and run it. Even if you know it's not perfect, it won't be. And it has imperfections and flaws, it definitely will. Run it, play the game, have fun. That's the goal anyway. And then you're gonna learn from that. And the next time you do it, it'll be a little bit better, a little bit better as you get experience doing it. So my suggestion is just don't worry about it. Yeah, just relax and just have fun, and it'll come with time. It's a dehydrated potion of animal friendship. My best teacher was my last mistake. You know, out of context, that comment could be interpreted poorly. Out of context. And I try not to overthink things and allow for fun. Yes, I agree. My best teacher was my last mistake. Fortunately, we have context. Oh, my moderators are gonna ban me or mute me. They're like, Luke, that's inappropriate. Purple Fire, Happy New Year! Thank you, dude. Yes. Charity. We are raising money for the All God's Children international charity. I don't know. They help orphans down in Guatemala and Nigeria. So, food, clothing, shelter, education, medical stuff. And they help them, find families through adoption and stuff. So lots of cool stuff. So if you want to give to the charity, all tips, 100% of tips go to the charity. I'm sure there's a link right there. Yes, where you can tip. And you can also, there's a link to All God's Children
their website where you can learn more about them as well. So thank you. We're doing a giveaway too. We're doing a D&D book giveaway. Get in on the giveaway. We're gonna draw the winner of the giveaway at the end of the stream tonight. What's the best Nat 1 situation that you witnessed or what happened to you? Oh, dude. Those happen almost every game. It's like the clutch moment and then it's a Nat 1. Those happen far too often for me to remember them. I laugh at them every time. Okay, cool. Let's get this question right here. Do you think virtual tabletop exploration maps hurt immersion or role-playing? Yeah, kind of they do. They do, because I don't even know how to really explain this, but I can tell you that when I play the game in person, I don't like having the entire map out where people can move their tokens or their miniatures wherever they want to go. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing it. It feels like, I don't know if it ruins immersion or if it ruins roleplay exactly, but I do feel like it takes a little, it changes gameplay. I guess you can say it changes gameplay. When the players are really just looking at the map and their minis and moving around and going up to doors and different people are doing different things and stuff, it changes the game. It becomes a different game in a way. The dynamics of it shift a little bit. And now for some people, I feel like that shift of how the game is played could be welcome and they might enjoy that and like that. I don't know that I necessarily like the shift though. I feel like when my ideal situation is how I run my in-person games, which is we don't have a map of the entire dungeon sitting before us in little 1-inch squares that represent 5 feet with miniatures that you can just move around wherever you want to on the entire map. We don't do that. I have a HUD, which is literally a piece of paper where I draw an overview of the map just so the players can kind of visualize where they are in the dungeon or the building or wherever, but they're not moving around minis and stuff. We're just visualizing, oh, you're in this room. Let me draw a little tiny representation of it. And then they're relying upon me to describe the room to them, the things that are in the room. We're not looking at the map to see where the different stuff is. They're listening to me and I'm describing it to them. And then they're telling me what they're doing in that room or their corridor or wherever. And we're visualizing it all. And that's a different game than when you're always looking at a map and you're always looking at tokens and image representations of what's actually there. It's different. It's different. It's different dynamics. Now, for some people, it's good or bad. It really depends on your point of view. I prefer to not have that map that's always present that represents all of those things. I would rather describe those things to my players, and then we you know, I don't know, we just role play, we play the game without having the map always there where you're moving around your minis and tokens and you're seeing all of that stuff. And then when you actually have a combat that happens, that's when you draw out or pull out that 1-inch square grid map that where you put your minis down and the monster minis down, and then you have your combat. That is when you need and when a gridded minis is best served, in my opinion. But I don't feel that having the gridded minis out the entire game that represents every little part of it is overall beneficial. And this is just my opinion, obviously. I would much prefer to only use it when you are having an actual combat. And this is how I almost always run this in my actual D&D games that I run in person. We just have a little HUD, I call it, the overview map, but you don't put minis and stuff on it. And then when we actually need a life-size map or whatever to put our minis on, that's when I draw it out for a combat. And that's my preferred way to run it. And I feel like that leverages the best of both worlds in a way, because you get the creative narration and the ability to visualize what's going on as the dungeon master is describing it and as the players are doing things without the encumbrance of having to have that map and having to move your miniatures and stuff. It's all just taking place in your mind and in your imagination, and things are unfolding, and it makes the game smoother in a way to run it that way, as opposed to having to fiddle with a map and minis for every last little thing. That takes time. And then, so that leverages the benefits of that sort of thing when you're doing exploration or when you're doing social interactions. And then when you come to, so those two pillars, social interactions and exploration, I feel like you don't really need to have gridded minis for that. That can all happen theater of the mind very, very smoothly and work very, very well. But when you can best benefit from a gridded minis is for the third pillar of D&D or RPGs, and that's combat. Especially if you want tactical combat, where positioning matters, and you really want to think through tactics and all this kind of stuff, which I love doing, and most of my players like doing that as well. That's when you want the map. That's when you want the grid and minis, and to be able to move things around and see exactly where everybody is, because you're having a tactical combat with different enemy types and all this kind of stuff going on. So then you get to leverage all of the benefits of having the grid and minis when you're having that tactical combat going on. And so my preference is to run D&D that way, because I feel like it's better. It's better from my personal point of view, as opposed to having a grid and minis out all of the time. And I've done it that way before. I have run entire adventures where we have the grid and minis out the entire time, and they're literally moving their little miniatures around over the entire map. I've done that before, and I've done it the way I've just got done describing as well. And I definitely feel that's my preference. We only do grid and minis when we actually have a combat, and that's for in-person games. Now, in the case of online games where you have virtual tabletops, it's customary and normal to have a map for the adventure, and then the tokens and the minis are always there, and they're always being moved around, and people are always fiddling with that and moving and stuff like that. You know, that's just customary for online play. And I do it that way for my online groups, for sure. And it works. Do I feel that it detracts from social interactions or detracts from exploration? Not necessarily. It's there, it's convenient, I suppose, because you already have that map made. It might detract from it. You might visualize things less because you're seeing it with your eyes, so you might be using your imagination less, potentially. I don't know if that actually works out that way in actuality. But I can definitely tell you that for in-person games, not having to fiddle with the map and minis all the time is the preferred way to go for me. When I'm running it online, you just have that virtual tabletop map. Now, if there were an easy way for me to not have to use that map the whole time and just run the game the way that I run it in person, I would love to do that. I would love to not have to prepare a map for virtual tabletop before every single game. That is one of the things I hate most. One of the things. There are lots of things I don't like about online play, but one of the things that I don't like about online play is having to prepare that map in advance and then putting it in there and adding dynamic lighting and stuff. It's just a pain in the butt. I really just want to be able to draw it out on a grid paper as we go, as needed. It makes running the game so much easier for me. So yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of words for you.
Oh, it's Drafty. Thank you for the super chat, dude. Really appreciate that. The way you worded this is a much better version of what I meant about my players treating dungeon maps like a video game, especially on VTT. Yeah, and I think that's kind of the danger that you fall into. Is that it can become more like a video game experience of just simply moving your miniatures around, you know, and fighting things that you've come across on the map. And it could definitely evolve into that. Now, I don't think that I've experienced that in the online games that I run. But that probably is a combination of the way I run the games and the caliber of players that I have in my games as well. So I haven't seen that happening in my online games, but I would attribute that more to the dungeon master and the players being able to avoid that trap, I guess is how I would say that. Owen Davies, woo, what up? How do you plan to celebrate New Year's tonight? Well, I think I'm gonna make a pasty. Who knows what pasties are? Well, you're gonna learn. If you don't know what pasties are, you have not lived. I'm about to educate you. Oh, and you probably know what pasties are because they're from Cornwall. They're Cornish. Cornish. Yeah, you got it. This is a pasty, ladies and gentlemen. Delicious beef, rutabaga, potatoes, carrots, a crusty shell. Oh, it's so good. Oh, that's so good. These things are amazing, you guys. You have never had anything so delicious in your life until you have eaten pasties. World's best food in the entire world. It beats pizza. Like, okay, you got to be careful. Sometimes when you put in this word here, you get different sorts of results. You get different sorts of search results. You got to be careful. These things are delicious though. What was one of these was really good looking. This one looks really nice. Looks really nice. Ooh, these look good too. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna make one of these, dude. I have one sitting in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna make one of those. That's probably what I'm gonna do once the stream is over. Oh, is Danny still here? Is Danny still here? Mr. Owl likes pasties. Yeah, baby. You had a Scottish mom, would alternate between these and curries. Oh, nice. Is Danny still here? There was a question from Danny. Danny asks, what did the cats get for Christmas? If you say nothing, you're a monster. I got the cats unconditional love. And I gave them food and water. So there, I did give them something on Christmas. And I gave our squirrel George got peanuts. I gave him extra peanuts. Oh, Danny's gone? Oh. Well, good. At least you can't call me a monster. Oh, my. Oh. Oh, jeez. Francois! I got your question, dude. How do you deal with a player that takes over a group and makes all the decisions for them? Stop! Dude! Stop! Let everyone else play the game. Did they elect you the leader? Did they elect you to make all this? No, they didn't, did they? So stop. Let them play the game. You are not the command and conquer. You're not leading into you don't get, this is not how this works. All right? They want to play the game too. This is not your personal game where you get to decide everything that everyone does and everyone just follows your lead and everything. I mean, unless they all made that decision, but it doesn't sound like they did that, did they? So you need to stop. Let other people play the game as well. Let them make decisions. Let them decide what their characters want to do. Let the group discuss and talk about things. So that's what I would do. I would talk to that player and explain and make it pretty clear. You know, I mean, obviously, I would not talk to them the way that I'm talking right now. I'm doing this for dramatic effect, you know, but the end result needs to be that a conversation is had with that player where you kindly explain to them and try to talk with them and say, hey, you know, you're kind of taking over the game here. The other players aren't getting to play because you're commandeering the group and making decisions for everybody. And, you know, we need to have a game where everybody can participate and everybody's thoughts and opinions can be heard. And then the group can decide what they're going to do without being, you know, strong-armed down a certain path because you have, you know, the loudest voice and you're the most dominant personality or whatever it happens to be. But that conversation needs to happen. And they need to give the other players space to participate in the game as well and have fun as well. So that's the conversation that needs to happen with that player. Essentially, it's stop, but you say it in a nice way. Refill the coffee. Oh my gosh. That was a Danny question. What was the craziest betrayal you've encountered in your D&D career? I don't think I've ever been betrayed. Sorry. Should I get a grid map and minis, or am I fine without them? Noble P. You're fine without them. You don't need them. They're an optional part of the game. That said, they don't cost a whole, well, okay. A grid doesn't cost very much. You can get a grid for probably $10. Miniatures start to get expensive. But you can use other things instead of, you know, full-blown miniatures, and you can get cheap miniatures too. I feel like they enhance tactical combat. Combat is better, in my opinion, using a grid and minis, but you don't need them. You can do things theater of the mind. I've run entire games and combats using theater of the mind where we don't have grid and minis, and we are perfectly fine. I have a video that I did not too long ago about running theater of the mind and tips for how to do it, especially in combat. Actually, I think the whole video was literally theater of the mind in combat and different things and strategies and how to run theater of the mind in combat, so that it doesn't bog down the entire game. Because there is a right way, there's a mostly right way and a mostly wrong way to do combat in theater of the mind. And if you do it the wrong way, theater of the mind in combat takes way longer than it should and can be really frustrating. So anyway, there's a video I made out there that gives you some tips and crap for that. You don't have to have grid and minis. I tell my friends who are not into D&D, it's like poker night, but with stories. Your poker night doesn't have stories? And we're betting with lives, not coin. Yes. Waffles! Any advice on running ship-to-ship combat encounters? My players did not enjoy Ghosts of Saltmarsh rules. No, I don't really have anything for you. Sorry. I've never really done any combat naval-based campaigns or things like that. Yeah, I mean, Ghosts of Saltmarsh rules is basically ships just have, like, things on them that can attack.
it's during the round and it does damage and stuff, and the ships have hit points and armor class and stuff. So yeah, it's like running a monster that you can stand on or something. And yeah, I don't know. That's my remembrance of those rules. I could be totally off. So I have nothing for you. Sorry. Can you summarize the white boxes in manuals, or do you have to read everything? I'm trying to become a DM, I was wondering. Oh, you mean like the read aloud text? Yeah, you don't have to read that to your players. You can literally summarize it to them or paraphrase it. You don't have to read everything to them, if that's what you're asking. Oh, do you think the box or board games are worth the money for the minis alone? Yes! I literally, on my shelves here, behind all my videos, I have 2 of these board games. The Wrath of Ashardalon and the Legend of Drizzt. And a lot of times you can get those board games for $50 on Amazon. Not always, sometimes they're hard to find. And they come with about 40 minis. And yes, they're absolutely worth that price. I've never played those board games. I have no idea if they're good or bad. I literally bought them for the miniatures. And then they sit on my shelves. So yes, getting board games purely for the miniatures is many times a very good investment. All right, let's go back down here. Owen Davies, thank you for the £2. Owen confirms, yes, pasties are fantastic. Thank you, sir. That's a question. Mr. Owl asks, where can I get such cool merch like you are wearing? I love DM Lair stuff. Well, Mr. Owl, since you asked, you can get fine DM Lair merch, and it's got like, you know, I've been a dungeon master since high school on the back and everything. You can get this wonderful merch on my spring store, link right there in the chat. Beautiful t-shirts. You can get comfortable, warm hoodies to keep yourself warm. What else do we got? We have, I don't know, I think we have other stuff, sweatshirts, and I think we have like, you know, little golf carts and stuff you can get. What do we have? I think we have parasails, and there's a whole wide gamut of DM Lair merch. You can get mugs and baseball hats. I think we even have baseball bats and stuff. It's amazing. All the DM Lair merch you can get over on my store. And it is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Yes. So thank you, Mr. Owl, for asking. That was totally a plant. I need the shirt that says I've been a dungeon master since high school. DM Miller, you can totally get that on my store. Literally, this shirt right here that I am wearing that says that on the back is from my store. I literally ordered it off my own store. Tashio needs the LairCon hoodie. Oh yeah, you could get all the LairCon merch too. Yeah, it's very cool. Oh, I read it wrong. I've been high since Dungeon Master School. Oh yeah. We don't have that one. I feel like I would get in trouble if I tried to sell that. Yeah, I read it again. Everyone's like, Luke, no, read his comment again. You got it wrong. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. Do I have tattle tokens? Yeah, I have tattle tokens. And terrain? No, I don't have any terrain. I've never gotten to buying terrain. I just have a grid. Just a flat grid with you can put dry erase and stuff on it. I don't play D&D at my own house. I play at other people's houses or at game shops when we have to. And you can't take terrain with you. Besides which, terrain, you know, here's the thing. One of the things that I don't like about playing online on Roll20 or wherever is that I have to make the map ahead of time. I hate that. I hate making the map ahead of time. I hate it. And if I had a bunch of terrain, guess what I would have to do? I'd have to make the map ahead of time, because you have to get the terrain ready before your game. You got to get it laid out on the table, or you have to have it set off to the side on little, like, I don't know, plywood or something, so you can just pull it out and put it on the table where it's all ready to go. Like, you have to prepare that stuff ahead of time. And so, like, I'm right back to where I began. Like, I have to spend more time preparing all the terrain and stuff before the game starts, and hope that they go and use that thing and do that. And, you know, so no, I don't really want to do that. I'm not too interested in, and it's expensive. Well, I mean, you can, okay, so yes, you can make your own terrain. There are lots of videos online that explain how to make your terrain. I don't have time to do that. It is cheaper for me to buy Dwarven Forge than to spend my own time making terrain. And so I would just buy it if I were going to use it, but I don't want to use it, because then I would spend time having to prepare it. And again, I literally pay people to make my maps for me on Roll20 because I don't have the time to spend making my own map. So I pay people to do it for me. And so, like, what am I going to do? I'm going to pay Zack to come to Michigan and make my terrain for me. Like, hey, Zack, fly to Michigan. I need you to set up the terrain for my D&D game. No, it's not happening. So Lego terrain. Oh, nice. I love Legos so much. If I had a bucket of Legos, I crap you not, I would play with them. I'm not kidding you. I would play with them. I'd make little spaceships and stuff, and they would shoot their lasers at each other, pew 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 pew, and they'd blow each other up and stuff. Oh, dude, I would totally play with Legos. I don't have any, but if I had Legos, I would play with them. I 100% guarantee you. Owen's like, I'll take that job, Luke. Yeah, Roll20 has drawing features similar to Whiteboard. I know. Here's the thing. My Roll20 game right now that I run is for my patrons, and they pay a decent amount of money to play D&D with me. And so I feel like I need to give them the best game experience possible because they're paying to play. And so I make sure I have good maps for them, you know, to play on. And I prepare them in advance. And a lot of times I pay people to make the maps for me when I don't make them myself. And I rarely make them myself. So, yeah. And when I was playing Curse of Strahd online, I just bought the module on Roll20. And I cannot tell you, you guys, the Curse of Strahd module on Roll20, I think was $20. That is like the best $20 I have almost ever spent. Holy crap. Somebody's out there's like, you had to buy the book twice. No, I didn't buy the book twice, you moron. I bought one book that sits on my shelf. When I went to Roll20, I was buying all of the maps with dynamic lighting already on them and the tokens already on them, so that I didn't have to spend countless hours making the maps, putting the dynamic lighting on there, and putting the tokens on there. I wasn't buying the book twice. I was buying the convenience of having all the maps and everything made for me. So yeah, some people freak out about that. Some people literally just lose their brain sockets. Because they think that, you know, because you bought a physical book, if anywhere else in the world online, if you buy a product that is got the same name or something, or that's related tertiary relations, you know, to it, that you're buying the book twice. You're not buying the book twice, you moron. You're buying the product on Roll20 to give you the convenience of not having to spend hours and hours and hours of making the maps. There's a huge difference. Big difference. Yeah. People have that same argument about D&D Beyond, where they're just like, I'm buying the book twice. No, you're not. You're buying for the convenience of having it on an online platform. That's what you're buying. If you don't want that convenience, then don't buy it. And you can just do everything by hand with physical books, which may or may not be a good thing for you. I don't know. Sorry, I'm kind of freaking out right now. I get worked up when people are morons. Nobody in chat was saying this. This was an imaginary moron that I created to get worked up over. This is where I need my editor to, my editor guy will pop, Zack will have his editor pop up and be like, Luke, calm down. No. I will, dude, I literally pay people like $15 plus an hour so that I don't have to spend my time. If I literally pay people so that I don't have to do things myself. That's how you run a business. Like, you can't do everything yourself. And so I pay X dude $15 an hour to do something so that I don't have to spend an hour doing that thing. So if I'm willing to pay one person $15 for 1 hour of their time to do, let's say that they're editing something. I'm paying them $15 an hour to edit something so I don't have to spend my time editing it. That's 1 hour. That's $15 for 1 hour of their time. And that is well worth it to me. I will gladly pay them $15 an hour or whatever to go do stuff so I don't have to do it myself. Happy to spend that money. If I'm willing to spend $15, let's just say, for 1 hour of one person's time so I don't have to spend that time myself, I will happily spend $20 so that I don't have to spend, like, I don't know, 50 hours, 100 hours to make all of the maps, put them all in Roll20, add dynamic lighting, put all the tokens on there. I could easily spend 1 hour just getting one map ready for a game session. And how many maps are there in a module? Oh my gosh, the value proposition is crazy. It's crazy. How could I not spend $20 to have all that done for me? It's insane not to. Yeah, that's so cheap to pay $20 to have all that work done for me. Wow. Okay, let's keep moving. What are you guys talking about? I don't. It took me all weekend to make a four floor dungeon. Yeah, I hear that. I feel that, Waffles. I pay people to do that. I think, what did I pay? I think I paid like, I paid somebody $100 or something to make a dungeon for one of my games not too long ago. We haven't actually used the dungeon yet. But yeah, I paid them $100 because they went into an incarnate and they made the map for me. I drew a little draft of it on my grid paper and then they made it an incarnate for me. $100, here you go. Thank you. I don't have to spend my time screwing with that. I'm happy to pay that. Because otherwise, I'd be spending my entire weekend making a map for a game. I don't have time for that. Now, some people enjoy that and that's cool. I don't enjoy it, one, and two, I don't have time. All right, Chris Nutting, what's up, dude? Oh, Chris Nutting, hold on. I think you just joined our Discord not too long ago, and your name was Daddy Nuts or something? Yeah, I think it maybe it's a different person. But you might be the same person. Was that you, Chris Nutting? Yes, it is you. Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Yes. I'm gonna tell you how I know that. Okay. I mean, there's like 5,000 plus people in the Discord and like, dozens of people join every day. Oh, by the way, I have a Discord. You should come join if you haven't already. Lots of dungeon masters help you out, advice, blah, blah, blah. It's fun. It's cool. It's family friendly. Nobody will be a jerk to you. And if they are, we'll beat the crap out of them. So there you go. That's how we deal with bullies. We kick the crap out of them and then they stop bullying people. Imagine that. Imagine, you know, the stupidest thing that I literally saw this. My wife and I were at the movie theater, watching the new Spider-Man movie. Big old sucky bullcrap. Anyway, well, let's not go there. We were at the movie theater and there was an announcement. An ad, and they were talking about bullying. And then they were like, download this app. Get this app on your phone so that when you see bullying happening, you can report it. That's exactly what we need to teach our kids. Be more and more non-confrontational. Be afraid to actually address and talk to things. You know, go to your phones more. You know, distance yourselves from reality a little bit more. It's like, yes, let's teach them this. Don't confront and deal with your problems. Just go to your phone and send an anonymous tip. I don't know. There was something about that struck me as wrong. Like, why don't you stand up to the bully? Like, if you see somebody getting bullied and you're not okay with it, why don't you go over there and do something about it? You know, why don't you go get some of your friends and stuff and go stand up to the bully and do something about it? You know, maybe punch him in the nose. Maybe that might make him stop. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too radical on these things. But I saw the app and I was just like, that is not what our kids need. Another thing that distances them from reality. Thank you. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Chris Nutting. Yes, a family-friendly beating. Chris Nutting, I was telling you the story about how I knew that your Discord name was Daddy Nuts. Because my moderators were like, is this an appropriate name? They weren't sure if it was like a borderline inappropriate name or something. And I was like, his name is literally Chris Nutting. Like, that's his name. And I saw Daddy Nuts and I laughed. I thought it was funny. And then Tasha, who's like our super moderator, was like, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. So anyway, there was some discussion about the appropriateness of your name. And it's cool. Oh, my mom's calling me. I bet this is my mom. You guys, literally my mom calls me every stream. Okay, we're gonna talk to my mom. Hold on. Hi, Mom.
Hello. Are you streaming?
Yes, Mom, we're on stream right now and they can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just called to see if you made it home okay.
Yeah, we're home. We're home. Everything.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, we ate a bunch of food, brought pasties home and stuff. Yeah.
Did you tell your why'd you bring pasties home? I just made you some.
We need more. We always need more pasties.
Oh, Lord. Did you tell Elizabeth I was sick? That's why I didn't come over and see her?
Oh, no. We didn't even know you didn't come over to see her.
Yes, I don't know what I got. I got the flu or something, but I'm just feeling like I'm gonna live today.
Oh, that's probably, you'll be fine. It's probably COVID. You'll be okay.
No, it ain't COVID. All right, honey. Well, love ya. Have a good night.
All right. Love you too. Noble P says hi. Felipe says hi. Goliath Cleric says hi. Cat says hi.
You tell them all to say hi and Happy New Year.
Okay, will do. Thanks. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Dude. I told you, my mom calls me every stream. Like, literally, it doesn't matter. If I'm streaming, she knows. And she's just like, I'm gonna give him a call. Lucas, are you streaming? Yep. That's awesome. What were we talking about? Oh, Daddy Nuts. Yeah. Anyway, your Discord name was a topic of discussion, but don't worry, it's cool. Oh.
Okay. What do you think about Echo Night? What the heck is that? 140 people says hi. What is Echo Night? What is that? Is that a new thing they released somewhere? I'm not familiar with that. Where is that from? Michael Iglesias, hello! What's up, dude? It's a fighter subclass from Wildemount? Wildemount! All right, let's take a look at it. It's literally called Echo Night, because if I don't spell it exactly right in D&D Beyond, it won't find it, you guys. So I typed in Echo Night. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. The search found it on the first go. Let's take a look at this. It's from Wildemount. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. You can use a bonus action to magically manifest an echo of yourself in an unoccupied space within 15 feet of you. Magical translucent gray image. It lasts. Okay. Okay. What is it? Oh, come on. Okay, so you can use your echo in the following ways. As a bonus action, you can teleport. Okay, so first of all, here's my problem with this. Right off the bat, I can tell you I have a problem with this. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it exists or how it's written or anything, or how it's created or designed. Players are going to expect monsters and creatures to think that this is actually you. It literally says it's translucent, which means you can see through it. A gray image, there's no color. All right. It's just translucent and gray image of you. Most things in the game are probably going to be like, whoa. They're probably not going to believe that that's a real thing, that it's really you, but players are going to expect that it is going to fool and trick everyone. And when it doesn't, they're not going to like that. So I don't know. I feel like that's my first reaction to that of, okay, that's going to be a thing. Great. Anyway, as a bonus action, you can teleport, magically swapping places with your echo at a cost of 15 feet of your movement, regardless of the distance between the two of you. No! No! That sounds messed up. That's too powerful. At third level, I don't know. This should be common knowledge at this point in the game, but battlefield positioning is incredibly key. Being able to position yourself in the battlefield at certain places when you need to is huge. It is huge. It's life and death. This is why I recommend that all bosses have a legendary action that is basically movement, so that you can reposition and move on the battlefield. Because it's huge. It's very, very powerful when used properly. When you take the attack action on a turn, any attack you make with that action can originate from your space or the echo's space. No. So you can be in two places at once? This is way too powerful. This is a third level ability. This is already way too powerful. When a creature that you can see within 5 feet of your echo moves at least 5 feet away from it, you can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack against that creature. No! This is way too powerful at it's only third level. It's at third level already. This is too much. Nah. You can heighten your echo's fury. Whenever you take the attack action, you can make one additional attack from the echo's position. So now you're getting extra attacks too? At third level? Okay. Oh, there's a restriction how many times you can use it. This is way overpowered. Why is this not shocking? You can temporarily we could probably stop there.
We could probably stop right there. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even looked at the whole thing, and right off the bat, my conclusions are that is way too much. Way too much. Wow. Yeah, it's, oh, when can casters polymorph and banish? Oh, it's not OP because casters can polymorph and banish. When can casters polymorph and banish? When they can cast level 4 spells, and his polymorph's level 4 spell. Banish, is that, I think that's a level 5 spell, isn't it? When can casters cast polymorph and banish? Not at level 3. Certainly not at level 3. So no, sorry, that's not even an argument right there. Okay, don't stop, please. Somebody is begging me not to stop. Okay, let's keep going. There's got to be something spicy still, I suppose. Okay, let's keep going. So yeah. Okay, 7th level. You can temporarily transfer your consciousness to your echo. As an action, you can see through your echo's eyes and hear through its ears. During this time, you are deafened and blinded. Okay, so it's like a familiar now. Okay. You can sustain this effect for up to 10 minutes. You can at any time. Okay. While your echo is being used this way, it can be up to 1,000 feet away from you. Okay. I mean, the echo does have 1 hit point, so something could waste an attack roll to kill it. But then guess what? You can use a bonus action to get it back on your next round. So now you're just depleting action economy away from enemies even more. Okay. And there's no limit on the number of times you can summon it? There's no limit, is there? You can summon an echo unlimited times. I don't see anything in here that says that there's like a limit on how many times you could do it. Wow. Okay. Shadow Martyr. You can make your echo throw itself in front of an attack directed at another creature that you can see. Before the attack roll is made, you can use your reaction. Before the attack roll is made. It's key to enforce that. Most players are going to want to do it after the attack roll happens and after the damage result. And they're going to be like, wait. I can have my echo go in front of it. And you're like, you're supposed to do that before the attack roll is made. Yeah, but we know how that plays out. You can use your reaction to teleport the echo to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the targeted creature. The attack roll that triggered the reaction is instead made against your echo. Holy crap. Okay, so there is a limit on that. You can only use it once per short or long rest. Okay, that's good. So a little bit of limitation. If you could do that at will, that would be nuts. You're just depleting more action economy away from the enemies, which is a pretty big thing. It can be pretty influential. Okay. You've learned to absorb the fleeting magic of your echo. When an echo of yours is destroyed by taking damage, you gain temporary hit points. Yay. Provided you don't already have, okay, so now we're getting temporary hit points. And so if enemies are attacking your echo and killing it, and then you're getting temporary hit points, and then you can summon it as a bonus action unlimited times if they keep on attacking it, or there's area of effect damage, which happens a lot at higher levels. You keep getting more temporary hit points. Obviously, temporary hit points they replace any temporary hit points you already have. So as long as you're applying that game mechanic properly, but still, temporary hit points are pretty darn useful. And then there's a limit on how many times you can use it. Legion of One. You can use a bonus action to create 2 echoes with your manifest echo feature. Oh, wow. These echoes can coexist. If you try to create a 3rd echo, they are destroyed. Anything you do to one echo position can be done for others. Okay, that's great. In addition, when you roll initiative and have no uses of your Unleash Incarnation feature left, you gain 1 use of it. What's the Unleash Incarnation? Oh, jeez. Okay. I mean, dude, really, it seems like this is where you get a lot
almost all the power seems to be at level 3. They really front-loaded this. They front-loaded this, it feels like. At least some of these other things have limits, you know, of how many times you can actually do it. But they really went crazy on this one, in my personal opinion. I would never allow this. Yeah, no, sorry. Some players' hearts are broken now. Infamous Geff. Matt Mercer's stuff tends to be broken in my opinion. I mean, that's broken. The Echo Knight is broken completely at 3, for sure. I don't know how that was possibly, was that play tested? Or was that just green lighted because, I don't know. Yeah. No problem, Mano, Tani. Manifest Echo should be an action to do. Yeah, Greg, I agree. If it were an action, that would go a long way toward balancing it. If it were an action, because if to mana, and that might actually that might be the fix. That might be on the road to fixing it, because if it were an action, here's how this goes down. Once we're in combat, it takes an action to manifest my Echo. Ooh, that's a steep cost. I might spend it, but then I'm not doing anything else that could be very hacking or anything. I'm simply getting my Echo. And then if I start to do cool stuff with my Echo, an enemy is gonna be like, what the crap? Echo dead. And then I gotta spend an action to get it back again. There's a lot of really good stuff I can do with an action. I don't know if it's worth getting my Echo back. So probably what you're gonna find is that they summon the Echo before combat begins, but once combat is engaged, if your Echo dies, you're probably not gonna use an action to get it back, would be my guess. So I actually think that might be a decent fix, to have it be an action to summon the Echo. I would probably be willing to play test it with that fix to see how that works. Yeah. I think that's not a bad idea. I like that. Yeah, they will use their action out of combat, but once combat is joined, they're probably not going to use an action to resummon it if it gets killed, I think is the thing. And a smart, any enemy is going to attack that thing and try to kill it once they see what it can do. I've been in a few games with Echo Knights and they weren't any stronger than Battle Master or Rune Knight. I have not seen a Rune Knight in action. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you have to see it in action to really be able to judge it. You know what I mean? So I'd have to see it in action too. But my gut thought on it is no, that sounds like too much. But I don't know. You'd have to see. Crunch is a Rune Knight? Oh, where's Rune Knight from? Ed's PC is a Rune Knight. It's extremely powerful. Yes. Oh, Lazik Vonberg, you must be from our game with Zack. This is the second time you've made a comment that has to do with that game. Yeah, Crunch's Rune Knight seems very powerful. So the person who says now that they've seen an Echo Knight in action and it's not any more powerful than a Rune Knight, well, I'm being told by people who have witnessed a Rune Knight for some time now that a Rune Knight is very powerful. And so if the comparison is that an Echo Knight is not more powerful than a Rune Knight that is really, really powerful, if that's the comparison being drawn, then that pretty much says that an Echo Knight is super, super powerful. So, yeah, probably too much. Oh, David Kunkel, you're in there too? Oh, nice. Sweet. Oh yeah, I recognize your image in your YouTube profile image thingy bobber thing. Yeah. Battle Masters are not that powerful.
I have seen certain builds that are very powerful, but it was a very specific build built in a very specific way that capitalized on a lot of strengths and some feats as well that made it very powerful. But if it weren't built in that specific way, it would not have been as powerful as it was. There's a difference between something being out of the box, super powerful, and something when you build it just right with certain feats and different things being powerful. That's a whole different story. If you could just grab something and it just blows crap up, wow. But if you can grab something and you got to do a whole bunch of tweaking and planning and different things for it to have the same effect, that's a different story altogether. And that's the Battle Master, in my opinion. All right. Oh, yes, the giveaway. Don't forget about the giveaway. Oh, when you run a module and your players wipe, do you find a way to penalize them? No, I don't penalize my players for wiping. And continue, or do you re-roll and restart the module? No, we don't restart it. We don't restart it. No, just have them roll up new characters. And they pick up the module where the old characters left off. Don't restart the module. That's boring. You've already played it. They don't want to replay that stupid crap. It's like, now we gotta do all the adventures all over again? Come on. No, don't make them do that. Roll up new characters at the same level as your old characters, and you will pick up where the old characters left off. Because guess what? That bad guy that killed your old characters, he's still there. He's still a threat. Somebody, that's your new characters, needs to go deal with him. Yay. And then you pick up the module right where your old characters left off. The same level and everything. Don't penalize them. Don't make them play the same adventures over again that they've already played. That's not fun and interesting. I don't care what Curse of Strahd tells you. Curse of Strahd is like, in the beginning of Curse of Strahd, they're like, hey! Because of the tarot card system and how the different artifacts and different things are randomized and can be found in different parts of the game, it makes for a unique play experience every time. No, that's horse crap. Okay. So all of the adventures are the same? Yep. All of the NPCs are the same? Yep. And all the monsters? Yep. So all you did was take some MacGuffins and change their positions in the game? Yep. And you're telling me that that's going to provide a unique and dynamic playthrough experience for my players? Yeah? No, it's not. It's so stupid. I was reading that in Curse of Strahd and I'm just like, you guys are dumb. That is a stretch right there. That is a big stretch. Anyway, yeah, don't have them replay the module. Just pick up where the old group left off and you'll be good to go. I do the same thing for my campaigns where they wipe too. You just, new characters, same level, pick up where the old ones left off. And they always want to find their bodies too, because they had all of those magic items and they're like, we want to get those magic items. A little bit of metagaming, obviously, but not necessarily, because if there is a powerful group that dies and is defeated and people learn about that, people know that they had magic items. And so of course, other people that hear that they died and that they had magic items might think, oh, let's go get those magic items. So it's not completely metagaming. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. You could justify it, I suppose. Luke, coffee. I don't have any more coffee. It's gone. The coffee pot's empty. We're in overtime right now. There is no coffee in overtime. Okay. Felipe Viana has the best question of the night. Felipe, you're awesome. Felipe asks, if I'm a DM looking to reduce prep time but still run awesome games, what should I do? Well, Felipe, you could do what many fine dungeon masters have done over the last year and become a DM Lair patron, where you can get Lair magazine every single month. Lair magazine is a publication that all DM Lair patrons receive every single month, and it includes adventures that you can run in your games, puzzles, traps, every type of resource that you could possibly need in your games is included in Lair magazine. And all of the adventures and all the other resources that need maps come with maps that are designed for use on virtual tabletops. So Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, all that kind of stuff, we have what you need. Yeah, so Lair magazine is what you're looking for, buddy. Go reduce your prep time and improve your games. Run awesome games with Lair magazine. Thank you, dude. He's like, I'm gonna help Luke slip in a plug before the stream ends. Owen says, Luke, can I play an Echo Knight in the one shot? 265. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Owen. With the caveat that it takes an action to cast that Echo. And you got to remake a new character, dude. Oh, Lazix Vonberg. Very good question. Luke, are you team gravy or team ketchup on pasties? Ketchup. Ketchup, baby. Ketchup. I love ketchup on pasties. My mom owned a pasty shop. And so we would have pasties all the time. And she makes amazing pasties, by the way. And she would bring the gravy home and all that kind of stuff, but I always preferred to have ketchup on my pasties. And I have a very specific process that I follow when I'm eating pasties too. So you have the pasty, right? Which is like the exterior shell is like, a pastry. And I always cut the top part of the shell and then I open the top, right? And then it reveals all of the innards, right? And I have this empty top part here of the pastry, and then the bottom part with the innards, the meat, the rutabaga, the potatoes, and all that. The ketchup is applied to the innards and then mixed up. And then the innards are eaten. Delicious. Until all that is left is the bottom part and the top part. And the bottom part has the inner juices a little bit. It's a little bit soggy and moist in there, and it's got a bit of ketchup still on it. And then the top part usually doesn't have anything on it. And then at that point, you begin to eat the pastry dough itself. And it is like the bottom part especially has absorbed all of the juices and moisture from like the meat and the rutabaga and the potatoes and a little bit of ketchup on there. And with the pastry dough, oh my gosh, it is delicious. Delicious. And then the top part is just like the crust part, also very, very amazing. And then I eat that last. And so I have a very, very specific process too that I have refined over the years, actually in high school, for eating pasties as well. So just in case you're interested, that is the proper way, in my opinion, to eat a pasty. Mr. Gore, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Happy New Year, everyone. Luke, please give the kitties some snuggles for me. All right, dude, you got it. We'll give Squeaky a big hug. He probably will be like, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. All right, let's draw the winner of our giveaway, shall we? If you have not joined the giveaway yet, there's a link in the chat. One of my moderators will throw it there for you to go jump in on it really quick, and then we're gonna draw the winner. Let's find my giveaway screen. You got spiked cider. Isn't all cider spiked? Oh, that's hard cider. I was like, isn't all cider spiked? I've been DMing and eating pasties since high school. That's true. That's very true. Who gets a New Year's gift? Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. I'm out of coffee. The giveaway is for a D&D book or DM Lair store credit. All right. I'm gonna draw the winner. Here we go. Here we go. Drawing it. Ah.
Ooh. All right, let's see. I need to see, make sure this is a valid entry. Valid entry. Looks like it. All right, Grimrock. Grimrock, you are the winner. First name James. Your YouTube screen name is Grimrock. I don't know if you're still here, buddy, but you won. Congratulations. I'm gonna send you an email, dude, and then we'll get you hooked up with your stuff, with your loots, your mad loots. Oh, there he is. He's still here. Cool. Hey, dude, what's up, man? I'm gonna send you an email. I'll just, need to know what you want and crap, and we'll hook you up, dude. Felipe is like, I don't think he's still here. You should pick someone else. Mayonnaise! Mayonnaise is still here. What's up, Mayonnaise? Sweet. Mayonnaise is like, Luke, stop calling me Mayonnaise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done. I'm gonna go eat a pasty and stuff. And yeah, so happy New Year's. Have a wonderful evening. I have like 3 hours to go before New Year's. I'm not gonna make it. I will definitely go to bed before then. So thank you for hanging out. It's been fun, folks. I'm going now. See you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.
Love you. Bye. Bye, everybody.